Championship Series on the verge of a sweep.
Dern and Sprague on the Fan Sports Network.
All right, 6:02 in the Rose City. Time for Dirt and Sprague on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Oh, we need the drop page.
Drop page. Turn it on. Blue 32. Hot road.
Get out your shotgun. So I'm going to throw some ducks tonight.
Red 85.
Let's go now. Let's have a game today, baby. Let's go. Let's go, fellas. Have a game today. Let's go now.
Blue 85. What's that? I like my boys happy. Here we come. It's a man's game now.
Good morning. Happy Football Friday, everybody.
What is happening?
How we doing?
Doing fantastic. Happy Football Friday, everybody.
You know what? Let's just get it off the top rope.
Right off the jump.
Macho Man Randy Savage Elbow.
Woo!
Eddie Guerrero Frog Splash.
Yeah.
This is Casey's first show.
This is it.
All alone.
He's here.
Swag is in Palm Springs.
Look, I believe we're on the air right now. Are we on the air right now?
We are officially on the air.
Casey's 1 for 2.
Hey,
one
nice
for
start.
2.
Nice
Let's
start.
go, baby.
Nice little start. It's
Let's
not
go.
over.
It's not over
yet.
yet.
Game left.
We got a long ways to go. You got to lead off single. That's nothing, all right? We got to score a couple of runs throughout the course of the game.
A lot of
today.
game left.
A lot of ball game left. But getting on the air, challenge number one accomplished.
The writers were talking about the call-up. Here he is.
Yeah.
Minor league guy gets the call-up to the bigs. First at-bat. Safely made to first base on
Look
a
at
single.
this.
That's all you can ask
Little
for.
ground ball, seeing eye ground ball right up the middle.
Nice
Look
little
at that.
solid start.
Hey, he's batting 1,000. Look at this. Look at this guy. Is he ever going to get out? I don't know. He's
I
off
think
to a great start.
I think it's more of a walk than anything.
Okay.
All right. Hey,
It's a good battle at walk, though. You know, it's a
fouled
nine
a couple of
pitch.
tough
Yeah.
pitches off.
Yes.
Laid off stuff in the dirt.
Right.
That's a good AB right there.
Let's be
Productive.
honest here. You're nervous.
Oh, very.
Okay.
Very.
Okay.
But we can handle this.
Okay. We'll handle
He's
this.
got this, dude. We're going to be all right.
Well, he's a KBVR. He'll handle
He's
it.
a Beaver legend over there.
He knows.
Beaver legends know how to show up in primetime moments.
Look, Oregon gets a lot of kudos for their journalism program. Oregon State's radio division.
That's right.
Kind of underrated. You got Brandon Kristall, who does sports radio in Denver. There was one other gal, I forget her name. She got a gig in Pittsburgh when they launched 93.7 The Fan.
Hey,
Now you got Casey.
look at this.
I mean, that's a pretty stable reign of horses
If you
there.
want to check in on what's going on the Oregon campus radio station, we were down in Eugene last weekend, and we had a campus radio DJ deliver us some duck soap.
Duck soap?
Yeah, he made some duck soap.
It's very Eugene of him.
They were shaped
Did
like
it smell
ducks.
like hemp?
There was the person you need to ask is Casey. Casey ended up taking the soap home.
Oh, we got duck
Yeah, it's
soap.
still in my car.
It's still in the truck.
Unopened. Yeah, it's just still
Is the truck
sitting in the
smelling
cup
nice
holder.
now that it's sitting in there?
Relatively.
Yeah?
Doesn't smell
Okay.
bad.
It didn't smell terrible. There was a bit of a hemp vibe, but I thought to myself, he rolled up in like it wasn't quite a wheelchair. It had like a forklift. It had those kind of like a tank almost. Had those kind of wheels.
Oh, the tracks.
Yeah, the tracks. That's
Oh,
the word
okay.
I was looking for.
Yeah.
And he looked to have been about 67 years old. And he gave us a tune into my show every Friday night on the campus radio station.
That's kind of cool.
And I was like, hey, are you like the guy at the LSU band that went back to school to follow your radio dreams? And I wanted to politely tell him I probably will not be tuning in. I don't know if I get that radio station in Portland, so I don't know how often I will be able to tune in. But if I'm ever in Eugene in the evening on a Friday night, I'm tuning into that guy's radio show.
My wife found an iPod that I had from college, and she got to plug it in, and it turned on. You know what I found on the playlist?
What, first song up? What'd you get?
I found one of my radio shows.
Let's go.
It's terrible.
Do you have the ability to pull that audio?
I can't.
Yeah,
because it was
you
on an
can't record
iTunes,
to it.
and it was a So it's
that
so
would be
bad.
a really fun bit to go back and find if we could possibly do it. Radio bits that we did in college and then play them today to just make fun of how bad they sound.
That's the thing is like it was me thinking I was being professional.
Dude, you probably thought you were doing great.
I did. In the moment I did. Yeah, I did.
I remember plugging in my laptop to play like bump back music and there'd be rap songs with cuss words and I just try and like turn it down during the cuss word because I didn't know how to have I didn't have the ability to bleep at the time. I didn't know how to use all that software. Just kind of fade down, fade back up. We're good.
My thing was
Nobody heard it.
I did a morning show. So I started at 10 10 a.m. because I was the program director of our station, so I got
Yes.
to make the schedule. And I'm like, I'm doing a 10 a.m. radio show.
You wanted to be the first one out of the gate.
And I also played rap, but I did Kanye's Good Morning
Okay.
as an intro song.
Yeah, good morning.
And then I fade it down. Good morning, KBVR. But more hip-hop Sprague.
Yeah. A little bit more urban Sprague back then.
How we doing?
What up, Corvallis? How my people?
Well, that was the other thing. It lacked a lot of enthusiasm.
No energy? You gotta have juice right out of the gate,
I
man.
had the juice back then. I
For
guess I didn't have
college,
any.
10 a.m. is early. So that's the morning show of
Yeah.
college. That's, nobody's up at 6 a.m. for college.
I was always proud of my college radio show, The Red Zone.
The Red Zone. Mine
Yeah.
was Quacksmack.
Was it Quacksmack?
Quacksmack.
Now, was that your name, or was it a
That's
carryover
the
legacy?
carryover legacy name that
Ah.
anybody who ever hosts the show gets the Quacksmack moniker. I don't know if
Really?
it still exists or not, but that's the way it was when I was down there.
We had, I think at the time when I was in college, we had 3 radio shows that were sports.
Ah.
We had a lot of KBVR is largely alternative music,
That's,
music that hey, you like Go-Go's and the Cindy's?
right.
What?
Never heard of them
Who
before,
is that?
but go ahead and play that.
And you always felt I'll tell you, I don't know if Casey has this anymore. I felt as a student being at that radio station, a lot of great, cool people, but they would play these alternative bands that would perform in basements in Albany.
yes.
And they'd say it, and you would be an idiot for not knowing.
How do you not know who that is? What's the matter with you?
It's their third album. Yep.
What do they sell? 47 of the first 2? What are we talking about here?
I'm sitting here do you guys have any Jay-Z? that I
you got any Kanye West available to listen to?
Do you have the Chronic
Can we
2001?
play any Eminem for the next 2 hours? Can we slip some of that in there? I'm familiar with his work.
I got lectured once by a student, which was very odd because she was doing a radio show and she was fine. She played her music and then she'd talk for a minute and then go back into the music. And I remember asking about Dr. Dre if they had any of the albums, and she literally looked at me and lectured me for 2 minutes of you don't understand what this is. The culture at this radio station,
Not
this
the
isn't
culture.
top 40.
No.
Oh, your mom likes it. Your brother likes it. This is, we hit on the hits that people haven't identified yet, and they need to know about them.
The new up-and-coming artist.
And I go, I just want to do a sports radio. She goes, we also aren't known for sports radio. And I was just sitting there listening to this, and I'm like, okay, I don't judge you on your show.
Sounds like you're based out of Eugene, Oregon with comments like that with the up-and-coming music. I would have figured KBVR had a little country twang to it, I just would have thought a couple
No.
more farmers, some gay sheep down there. Maybe you guys are vibing to some Alan Jackson on the weekends. I don't know what you got cooking.
No, we didn't have very
No?
much country at
That's
all.
disappointing. If I were a Beaver and I worked at KBVR, I would have wanted to play country music, man.
We had 3 radio shows that did sports. I had mine. At the tail end, Nick Lilia, who was pretty well known in the Oregon State radio and newspaper sports area. And then Kai Johnson, who I think is currently athletic director at Tillamook High School.
What?
He did a good show. There was 3 of us, and I think we all 3 felt like outcasts because everybody else
You're the only one.
coming up next, it's Lucy and the Bye-Byes.
They're
What?
lighting incense in the studio. What is the smell? What's happening in here right now?
And it's you'd say hi to people as the exchange from the studio. You'd be like, hey, good show. I'll see you later. And then it'd be real emo. Don't even talk to me.
I don't want to do those.
And she'd walk away and be like, okay. All right. Am I going to have a career in this? I don't know what this is.
This is not going to work out for me long term. You might as well get out of the industry now. This is not going to end well. I'll always think fondly of my college radio days, too, because it got me reaching out to this station while I was working at the campus radio station. Ended up getting me my internship. Because I used to religiously watch Isaac and Suk every day on the old Comcast Sportsnet.
Yeah.
Who didn't, right? If you wanted to work in radio and they were the standard, and I used to watch them every day, and my roommates it would drive them nuts, and they would hate it, and why are we watching sports stuff? They wanted to watch other things, and I'd make them watch it every day. And I remember that Isaac and Suk used to have an old Facebook page that was just theirs. I think they eventually had to shut it down because corporate was like, nah, everybody's
Corporate
station
had a real,
accounts.
bug up their
But they
butt
had
about
an
that.
Isaac and Suk Facebook account. People will remember this back in the day, and it was them and Kevin Nealon was the profile picture. And I remember there was a story about a BYU athlete who it was something honor code related, and he got suspended or something. And I'm like, this is a good opportunity to reach out. And I sent a DM to that Facebook account. Dusty was probably the one that got it and responded to it because he was producing at the time. And I asked, like, hey, can I get one of the guys on the show? Are they willing to come on my campus radio station? And of all people, Suk was willing to do it. And I'll never forget it. It was a huge deal for me.
And he hopped on your show?
He came on my college radio show, and we talked for like 20 minutes. It was because we were on 7 to 9 p.m., so it was right after they were off the air. And he did like 20 minutes and gave me a lengthy interview, and I got his email, and I eventually emailed him months later and was like, hey, you guys got any internships? And he gave me Swag's email, and that's how I got on the Fan.
Do you honestly, have you ever talked to him about it?
I have never brought that up to him. No, I don't
wonder
see
if he
him that often.
remembers it.
Yeah.
And I just would be very curious because
That was a massive moment for me in my radio career to get radio celebrity Jason Sakanik on my show, who I don't know if anybody in Eugene knew who he was, but I knew who he was, and it was a big deal for me.
So my two big gets for college guests, aside from like the local scribe or Oregon State football player, Ian Furness, because I interned and I worked with him a lot as an intern. He was great to me. And the second one was Travis Demers.
Travis Demers.
Yeah, it was a big deal to get Demers on the show. I was like, oh my God, I got Travis Demers on the show.
That is formerly of Sirius XM Radio Travis Demers, now working at 1080 The Fan Travis Demers.
100%.
This is a big deal right
That
here.
was a massive deal.
I
I remember the day Dusty followed me on Twitter. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God, Dusty?
The Fan Man?
That guy?
I don't
see
think
him
he
on
knows
TV every day.
I thought that, but that in the moment, I'm like, oh my God.
That's the Fan Man. Am I making it right now in this industry?
My favorite moment was graduating college. I got instantly a gig to Comcast Sportsnet to cover Oregon State.
Yes, you did.
And I'll never forget, like, the fourth game of the regular season. I was an absolute fraud, by the way. I had no idea what I was doing. I had nobody guiding me.
Nobody had any idea.
Dude, I was so bad at that job.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm on the sidelines of the football game, and I saw somebody I went to school with who had also just graduated, and they did TV, and I did radio, but we worked together a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was drunk, and he literally looked at me and was like, you got my job, man. And I was like,
what?
Yeah, what? He's like, you got the best gig. And I thought I was going to get a gig. And I just started like telling me how much he wanted my job. And I was like,
We got a class of 95 on our hands here. This guy's just never going to quite outgrow that.
I'll tell you this much. He wasn't wrong about some of what he said, but I wasn't going to say that to him.
You might have deserved this over me, but you know what? I'm the one that got the gig.
Way more TV-based job, and I did no TV at Oregon State. I produced a TV show. I didn't actually get on camera.
And then you got turfed a year later because you weren't attractive enough.
I didn't get turfed.
You just didn't get renewed.
I didn't get renewed.
You didn't get renewed.
Those are different things, Andrew.
You were not attractive enough to the boss at the time. He wanted to look at something different other than Brandon Sprague's face.
I'm not saying that. You're saying that.
You weren't pretty enough. Keep that gig.
I'll never forget, for those that want to know, how do those interviews in media go? So I knew I wasn't going to get my contract renewed with Comcast, and I went into an interview with the then current guy, Kamens, I think is his name, and he basically was like, yeah, got a hot young thing coming in. And I went, okay.
All right.
And he goes,
so that's how this works, huh?
do you think you could be like Elvis?
What?
And I'm 24.
What does that mean?
And I'm like, what? And he goes,
you mean do some drugs and die on the toilet? What are we talking about right now?
Blue suede shoes?
You mean
I don't know what.
Steal a bunch of people's music? Is that what you want me to steal work here? What's going on?
It's one of the more odd interviews I've ever had with somebody.
Let's see your Elvis. What do you got over there?
Whose reputation really lived up. It lived up to the billing, man. That guy and what we talked about in that meeting was exactly who he was known as.
I'm shocked none of that stuff worked out. You know,
it's tough.
They didn't make it long term. I'm surprised that didn't end on a positive note for them.
Some things don't make sense. Dirt, like I'm still doing this.
Yeah.
Comcast doesn't even exist anymore.
No, it's just not even a channel anymore.
I outlived the channel.
You did,
and they told me I wasn't good enough.
Last laugh. Who's Elvis now?
Yeah,
huh? Look who's Elvis now,
Oh.
bitch.
Well, we got a lot to get to today.
We do have a lot to get to today.
Interesting start to the show.
If anybody has graphic design capabilities, can you please make a wanted poster with Brandon Sprague's face in the city of like Seattle Police Department looking for you? I need something like that to tweet out. I wanted to contemplate making something last night, but I didn't want to delve into the AI world, and I don't want to know how to use AI, and I'm worried like if I use it once, somebody be like, oh, that was so easy, now I'm going to use it all the time. So I didn't want to do it. If anybody has graphic design capabilities, I need a Sprague face on a wanted poster from the city of Seattle, maybe even / Pittsburgh, because you accomplished yesterday,
it's truly
brother, we got to
remarkable.
give you a round of
Thank
applause.
you.
I'm just going to ask you one favor. Just please, for the love of God. I don't
Oregon's
ask you
at
for
Rutgers this weekend.
I don't ask you for a lot.
There's no way.
I don't ask you for a
Woke
lot.
up this morning.
Look, it's not even about this weekend. It's not even about this weekend. Can the words "Oregon's going to win a national championship" never come out of your mouth? Can
Do
you
I have a
make
ticket on it?
Can
I
you
mean, I don't
make
know.
that promise to me that you will never make that claim? Please don't touch my baby, man.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll get to it. We'll address the elephant in the room. We've delayed it enough, I'm sure.
I had a Mariner fan text me last night looking for your address, saying, "I just want to Zillow his house." well, that's a deep cut. That's a good play right
All
there.
right, well, we'll get to that. It's a football Friday. Got a lot of football to get to. We got some fun with audio. I got coach audio for the Daily Ticker today. I didn't really want to go get a guest.
No,
we
got enough to get to.
So we got some fun Daily Ticker stuff we're going to get to today with Sprague Line. So I have an idea where the Sprague Line sponsors are going to go today. Let's start. I'm sorry. But also, you should kind of feel sorry for me, too. And I'll tell you why. Next on The Fan.
105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, welcome back in. Dirt and Sprague here, 105.1 The Fan. The Fan Sports Network. Happy Football Friday, everybody.
No 85. What's that?
By the way, shout out Shane. He made the graphic. Wanted, dead or alive, reward $5,000, and I'm there standing in front of the Space Needle. So.
Better not show your face in Seattle anytime soon, buddy.
It says for questions, call 206-555-0123. Here's the thing. I'll own some of this, okay? But first of all, I would just ask you to also have a little sympathy towards me.
Yes, this has been very hard on you.
You don't understand what happened to me yesterday.
What happened to you?
You ain't in my house.
That's true. What happened in the Sprague household yesterday?
Some of you suffered a loss yesterday. Okay, I feel for you. We'll talk about it. I did too. For the first time ever in my own house, I lost to my 9-year-old in Mario Kart. You know how devastating that was to watch her Dion high step on me?
That's tough and painful.
She goes, "Oh, who needs tips now?" Because I dealt it, and she dealt it right back when she finally beat me.
I mean, that's how it's got to go. You got to give it to him that way, and then you know you're going to get it in return eventually. But at 9, that's pretty early, man.
So, like,
You've
ALCS,
lost your stranglehold on the household.
Divisional game, Thursday Night Football, like those are big.
Sure.
Losing in your house for the first time to a 9-year-old in Mario Kart.
No, it's not the same.
It's a real blow to the ego here. So be gentle, okay? Be gentle.
Tread lightly.
Also,
that's brutal.
I'm not the Pittsburgh defense, and I'm not Luis Castillo. What do you want from me?
You could have got some more outs yesterday if you would have just backed down your take, man. If you would have just said, you know what, maybe it's not over.
It's best of 3.
Maybe Castillo gets more outs. And he last pass, what did he get? Pulled in the second inning or the third inning, whatever it was, before they took him out of the game. I'm already dreading when that happens with Teddy Ballgame with anything sports related. The first time you get beat in anything sports is just that's got to be a humbling feeling.
Well, she's never going to beat me in like basketball.
Of course,
ever.
Yeah.
But like Mario Kart, I have a lot of pride in that because I started playing that at literally her age.
Right.
And I was like, get ready to get
I
dominated.
got 30 years of experience on you here.
Dude, I beat her in the first 2 races. She whooped me in that third race.
Now, we're talking, was it just a bad break? Was it a bad banana peel at the wrong time?
I got struck by lightning on one of them. She hit me with a red shell at the right time. It was kind of both her and the rest of the game.
So she had a good game plan, and she executed the game plan. It wasn't a fluky L. Like, oh my God, you had 7 turnovers. That's how you lost the game.
No, she earned it.
She earned that dub.
She earned it.
Yeah.
She goes, maybe your aunt taught you how to be bad at it so you could lose to your kids one day.
The trash.
Damn.
The trash. I almost have to be proud of the trash talk at that point. That's pretty good stuff right there. Those are deep cuts.
It was a deep cut.
You're not just winning. You got to make sure that you're spiking the football in your face.
I'll tell you this. Truly remarkable, the ability to jinx 2 teams yesterday.
I mean, you got powers that are unknown to mankind. We need to harness this. You need to be locked up this weekend and studied. You're not going anywhere near anybody else's team, all right? Just buckle up for whatever is going to come out of your mouth today.
I don't think I believe in a jinx. Again, I was not on the bump. I'm not George Kirby. I'm not Luis Castillo, but I won't say anything else. I'll tell you that much. It's a best of 3 now, and are you going to be the best of 3? I don't know.
2 of those 3 are in Toronto, too. So
you know what's weird about them?
Yeah.
And I know Mariner fans already knew this, and Blue Jay fans knew this. They're literally reversed on the season. Their wins against each other are all, I think, on the road.
That's kind of a random stat.
I think Toronto has won 4 against Seattle in Seattle, or 3 of the 4, and Seattle's 2 wins against Toronto are in Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look,
the road teams are dominating.
The road teams are. There's no doubt about it. And the Toronto Blue Jay Bats have woken up. And Vladdy, who has had a dominant series against New York, kind of disappeared in the first 2 games of the series and now has woken up.
The whole offense had disappeared.
Oh, yeah, and then you're getting home runs out of the 9 spot back-to-back games, and you're like, all right, if that's going to happen and Vladdy's hitting home runs too, it's not going to be your night no matter who you put out there on the bump. I think what I would say to Mariner fans is that if I told you at the start of the series it's tied 2-2 going into Game 5, you'd probably take it, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you'd want to sweep or you'd want to be up 3-1, but you're not down 3-1. You didn't get swept. It's a 2-2. It's an even series.
Yep.
You can still win 2 more games.
Miller's back.
He played
great in Game 1.
So it's not all hope is lost. Although I did have a buddy who's a Mariner fan text me last night and said all hope is lost for me. I think they're just mentally there.
They've been broken by a 2-2 series tie.
I think they have. Yeah. Another buddy texted me, and this was the one that was asking for your address, and said the list of ALCS wins in Seattle in franchise history: Game 1 in 1995, Game 5 in 2000. Those are the only home games
So
in the
they
ALCS.
have 2 since 1995?
They have 2 ALCS wins at home in the history of their franchise because they've now lost again the first 2 games of this series. One in 1995, one in 2000 or 2001. Those are the only ones they've ever won. You win tonight, you're feeling great. If you lose tonight, the positive spin on it would only be, there's only one angle you can go down, and that would be, is this the 2019 World Series?
So I was thinking about that last night. I couldn't help it. Like, how can anyone not help it watching what's happening, right?
Well, especially because they jumped out early, too. They hit a solo home run early. Crowd's rocking. You're up 1-0. You're like, hey, all right, here we go again. And then...
Well, you're not wrong. When the 9-hitter hits a multi-homer bomb, it's
you're
like...
demoralized.
Yeah.
That's about... If Vladdy's hitting bombs on you, you just say, oh, damn it, it's Vladdy.
Springer's good.
Yes.
Like, okay.
But the 9-hole guy doing it, that hurts.
Jimenez hitting a home run and laying a perfect bunt down the third baseline.
yeah.
Like, everything was them. I thought of the 2019 World Series where no home team won and the road team won the World Series.
The Nationals won the first 2 games in Houston. They went home to Washington with a 2-0 lead, lost 3 straight games.
Yep.
And then went back to Houston and won Game 6 and then Game 7 of the World Series on the road.
It's got to be one of the more bizarre feelings ever. Now, I know Mariner fans. I know enough of them in my life and listeners and whatnot.
Yeah.
You take this. How bizarre has it got to be as a fan of a team when your team succeeds, but they don't succeed at all when they play in front of you?
It's very weird.
Like you spend $400 on one ticket.
Oh, at least, yeah.
And you lose.
And not just lose, but you got blown out back-to-back nights.
Right. And if they lose again, it's like, okay. And then if they end up winning the series, you're like, well, we've made history.
This is cool.
But you guys refuse to win in front of us. And I would feel a little weird about it. I'd be happy, but like, come on.
Can I see one win in the LCS?
Can you give us something in person?
Just one. Give me one. That's all I'm asking for is one win. That's not too much right here. The criticism. I thought they left. Who was it? Who started Game 3? Was it Gilbert? Was Gilbert on the bump for Game 3?
Game 3, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Kirby.
Kirby, thank you.
Kirby
I thought
Castillo.
they left Kirby in a little bit too long in Game 3. I thought that was a criticism of Dan Wilson. I didn't feel that way. They got Castillo out of there pretty quickly last night, and the bullpen wasn't quite able to shut the door. That's a tough task to do.
They don't let him go very long, even when he's having
no.
a good game.
I think he had to start in the divisional round where it was like 4 innings, and he was pitching fine. But they're like, all right, that's 2 times through the order. You're done. Get out of here. But he had a quick trigger last night. The only question that I would have, and maybe Mariner fans know this better than me, Wu is now back on the roster. Remember, he was not on the divisional round roster. Are we just not?
He must not be ready.
But why is he on the roster then? That would be are you just hoping maybe in the back half of the series? Because I know the way the rules work is you have to set your roster before the series begins. Once the series begins, you cannot make changes to it. And so maybe they're just hoping he's healthy at the back end of it. But if he's available, you've now played 4 games. He has not thrown a single pitch.
So, yeah,
and
maybe
it's tied 2-2. That's the only thing that I'm just questioning aloud right now about how they're functioning. Of that spot could have gone to somebody else. If he doesn't end up pitching tonight, then you're 5 games into the series. Maybe he ends up being the hero in Game 7, and we look back and say, oh, my God, look at that. Wu saved the day. So glad that he was on the roster. That's just a head-scratcher for me right now.
Best of 3.
Best of 3.
See, I think this question is so easy to go both ways, but like after the first 2 games, you're like, how you feeling? You're like, well, I think the Mariners are going to win it. Now they've lost 2 in a row, and the Blue Jays have won, and you're like,
baseball's a funny thing. You win a night,
nobody knows what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
It's a best of 3.
Other than you. I haven't given up. Still giving up hope?
No, I haven't given up.
Haven't given up hope?
That's all I'm going to say.
We had a listener ask you to please sell your ticket. Please sell the ticket. Just get
Can't sell the
offload,
ticket.
cash off the ticket, buy back, buy out, give me the money.
You can't do that.
No. First of all, I didn't gamble that much money, and the payout's not even really worth paying out.
Well, at this point, the payout's taken a bit of a hit here the last 2 nights. I bet if you would have sold that ticket 3 nights ago, the payout would have been somewhat relevant and decent. Now...
Are you getting M's Plus money now? I mean, maybe I'll check that. I don't know.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I didn't say anything.
Don't do it.
I didn't say anything.
Don't do
I'm not
it.
saying anything. I'll stop.
Don't
I'll
do
stop.
it.
Generally rooting for it to win. Why do I want my own bet to lose? That'd be ridiculous.
I just love the turn of events in this series. If anybody was going to be a villain for Mariner fans, I would have assumed it was going to be me going into the series, and you have just taken that mantle and run with it. I'm proud of you, buddy.
I've been on this team since Cal Raleigh won the home run derby, and now I'm the villain with a wanted sign.
You
What do
did.
you want from me?
You tried to make me eat crow on this team like 6 weeks into the season, and I made fun of you because I made fun of Mariner fans in spring training.
All the evidence in the world that I'm the good guy.
This is the year.
Yeah.
I made fun of him back
See?
in March and April.
There he is.
And like 6 weeks in, you're like, hey, you going to eat crow? And I said, no, I'm not eating crow in May. That doesn't happen. I'll eat crow in October if I need to. Uh-oh.
We had a little bit of old man football yesterday, and I got some NFL stuff I want to dive into starting next. But first, Casey with a sports update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This Sports Center update is brought to you by 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. 808 Hawaiian Restaurant, mixed plates like Grandma used to make. If your grandma were from the Big Island. Woodstock, Burnside, Beaverton, or online at ate-oh-ate.com. First on the Fan, Joe Flacco and the Bengals took down the Steelers in a high-scoring Thursday night football affair, snapping a 4-game losing streak for Cincinnati. The recently acquired quarterback, Joe Flacco, threw for 3 touchdowns, airing it out for 342 yards in the 33-31 victory Thursday night. Flacco has also tied Tom Brady for the most wins against Pittsburgh since 1950. Over to the Diamond as Toronto ties the series back at 2 games apiece in the ALCS. The Mariners were able to get out to an early lead, but George Springer and the Blue Jay Bats came alive once more as Toronto took Game 4 8-2. Seattle will host the Blue Jays today just after 3 p.m. And the Dodgers hope to wrap up the NLCS sweep today after their 3-1 victory in Game 4. The Dodgers will start Shohei Ohtani on the bump as Pat Murphy's Brewers will once again go to the bullpen for Game 5. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom, call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for Seahawks football, the Fan Sports Network, 105.1
top 3 or 4 point guard of all time in my mind.
Without a doubt, yeah.
And so you could say Jason Kidd, but I went Garnett. He got his own lone ring with the Celtics. And Bill Walton won 6th Man of the Year and won a ring with the Celtics.
He did.
Same numbers, 5.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. If it hasn't been your number your entire career, then you're picking for the best spot with that number, and those are two pretty good options.
You told me Young Hansen cried last night?
I just saw a tweet. I didn't see any of the game last night. There was too much going on, and it wasn't even on TV. I think you had to have Blazer Vision to watch it.
That was the only way you could watch it, yeah.
And it also, I think the Blazer Vision feed was just the in-arena Jumbotron situation again with, like, road broadcasters. So
stellar.
That's cool. But, yeah, I guess there was a video of him going to the bench, and he was tearing up on the bench because he wasn't playing very well.
Yeah, he seems like he cares a lot, which I love. I also, if that's true, I talked to him and say, look, dude, you're going to have some stinkers this year.
You're a
you
rookie.
Cannot emotionally react to every bad game and moment that you have. But
he said after the game, I was emotional. I didn't play well, but I could hear the fans sitting on my left. They were loud, and I'm really grateful. So I guess there were some fans that were close yelling positive things at him, and he was thankful for that.
Is he elite, Joe Flacco?
I think he's elite again. He's elite for a day. It's the Toby Keith song, not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Did you see him in the postgame? He got interviewed by the Prime Video football people, and he basically acknowledged that when play calls were coming in, he wasn't entirely sure what the play was.
He had no idea. He had the one zone read pulled. He basically acknowledged that wasn't even a play call. It was just a busted play, and I didn't really know what to do. And I took off, and I picked up 15 yards on a scramble. He hadn't done that in a generation.
Boy, talk about a throwback night here.
That was fun, dude. That was a really fun football game.
It was. Now, like, the Bengals are suddenly, you kind of say, were we wrong about the Flacco pickup? They're 3-4. They play the Jets next week. That should be 4-4.
They should be 500.
They've got an opportunity. I think they play somebody else at home. I think that could make them, they have an opportunity to tread water.
2 weeks, they get the Jets and the Bears at home.
Yeah. They could beat the Bears at home.
Those are, they've been competitive. They hung around the game at Lambeau last week, too. It wasn't like it was just a bloodbath from start to finish. They were around in that game.
Well, that was kind of just a fun throwback. SVP called it an unk game because you had 2 40-year-old quarterbacks out there.
Don't forget 40-year-old Scherzer on the mound, too, barking at his manager for trying to take him out. It was the night of the 40-year-old last night.
A night of the 40-year-olds last night. You're right about that.
They had a moment in time, a brief moment where they all delivered for their teams. They all played really well.
That was Scherzer's first playoff win since 2019, so thank you for putting him in there because he deserves it.
The moment of him yelling at their manager when he was trying to take him out was the highlight.
Guys like Justin Herbert of the LA
That's
Chargers.
right. You tell me that, John Gruden. That's such a throwback moment to, no, dude, you're not taking me out of this game. And then he got the strikeout and he's barking. That guy's absolutely psychotic.
Well, yeah. I would ask you this, too, because I know a lot of people did watch that football game. And
it was more entertaining than the baseball game, for sure.
You know, are you not looking at the NFL? And last night, it's interesting where that's going to go for Cincinnati, but you look at last night with Rodgers and Flacco dealing, and then you also look at the current standings. Is it 2008? We don't know it.
I don't know what the hell's happening.
Has it flashed back to 08, 09? Like, go look at the standings of the teams in first place.
Yeah.
Then you see Rodgers and Flacco in a duel of 4 touchdowns and 350 yards. Like,
both of them made great throws. The throw at the end of the game, the Hail Mary that Rodgers threw,
impressive.
It traveled 69.8 yards in the air. That is the furthest throw for an NFL quarterback since 2017.
I was stunned he got it to the end zone.
How is that possible?
He was remarkable last night.
He had a really good game. And he threw 2 picks. One of them was just
the second one was a defensive
play. How
play.
do you rip that away from DK? That was an insane defensive play.
Now, I did also jinx the Steelers the way I jinxed the Mariners. I would like to apologize for our fill-in producer and current Steeler fan.
Passionate Steeler fan over there.
Casey, although he gave me kind of a hot take.
Oh.
So they lose last night, right? Flacco drives, T. Higgins slides, they kill clock, kick a field goal.
Such a boring way to end a football game. I hate when games end that way.
Yeah.
The kneel down, run the clock down, kick the field goal. I know it's the right play. It's just it's a dud. It's like watching fouls and timeouts at the end of an NBA game.
Casey blamed Pat Freiermuth.
Oh, what did Pat Freiermuth do?
He had the go-ahead touchdown with too much time left.
You wanted him to go down on the 5-yard line or something?
Yeah, especially when the Steelers had run the ball as well as they did yesterday. I think you cut a minute and a half, at least a minute off the clock, you cut into Joe Flacco's time.
I mean, it's not a terrible theory. I think the only challenge is it's not a guarantee that you go on to score the touchdown. But to your
100%.
point, Cincinnati's defense blows, and they ran the football all night.
Yeah, Warren had 127 yards.
Yeah, I mean, you see teams do that usually when they're up, just trying to ice it so they don't, you're up by one and you have a chance to go in and score, and so you go down and then just take knees and run out the clock instead of scoring the touchdown because you only be up by 8. Not a bad theory. That game was really fun, man. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, and we're now talk about bad takes and jinxing things. 3 weeks ago, I gave the take of Thursday Night Football needs to be taken back into an alley and shot. And all Thursday Night Football has done. Now, I still question why we're doing this, especially for short weeks and not having a bye, and I don't think it's good for your body. And all of that stuff is still valid. Dude, Thursday Night Football has absolutely delivered this year.
3 straight games where the underdog has won outright. Niners 8.5, Giants 7.5, and the Bengals 5.5. And
we're on a run right now.
Well, see, here's the other part of that. I still think both things can be true. I think you can say we've got 3 straight.
But I looked at the schedule and I'm like, oh God, Steelers and Bengals. Who wants to watch that? And it ends up being a great game.
Well, but this is kind of where we're proven right. Yeah. Because the fact that they have to turn around and play on such short rest, you're going to lend yourself to having stupid games and stupid outcomes. And
don't gamble Thursday Night Football and don't gamble London games. You just don't know what you're going to get.
Like if these two teams play on Sunday instead of Thursday, you got a full week's rest. You get full weeks to prepare. Are we having 64 points scored?
No.
I don't know. Probably not. But Patrick Queen's been pretty good for the Steelers. 4 tackles last night. I just think that game itself puts everybody in a weird spot. So it's a combination of the games have been close, competitive, and the underdogs are winning. That's great. Also, I still think the other part's true of short rest. You're doing as much as you can to prepare, but expect the unexpected at times. That doesn't shock me. So I still think both things are true.
We've also had, it's not just Thursday night on the primetime games right now. 7 of the last 8 primetime games we've got have been won outright by the underdog.
There you go.
Because it was Steelers last night. The Commanders on Monday Night Football did not win. They lost to the Bears. The Bills were a favorite, lost to the Falcons. The Chiefs did win Sunday Night Football. You had that Thursday night game between the Eagles and the Giants. You had the Chiefs on Monday Night Football lose to Jacksonville. You had the Bills lose to the Patriots got them on Sunday Night Football. And then Thursday Night Football, the Rams losing to the 49ers.
So beware. 49ers and Seahawks, because right now the Falcons and the Texans are the underdog going into Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football.
I don't know what it means long term. I don't think Flacco's
and the Lions, because the Bucs are also on Monday Night Football.
Yes, good point. I mean, look, I think Flacco's capable of doing this once in a blue moon. I think he showed that a couple of years ago in Cleveland. Is this going to be every week? No. Pittsburgh's defensive questions are back now at the forefront.
Yep.
Felt like they had solved them for a couple of weeks there, and they were treading in the right direction. But to your point, Thursday Night Football just leads to wonky performances, so maybe you don't overreact to it too much.
There's something under attack in the NFL. I don't want to talk about it. Next on 105.1 The Fan.
The Trailblazers are back.
The goal is to compete every night.
A new on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
It's a big weekend for this reason. I'll tell you what that is at the top of the hour. Oregon State coach follow-up stuff. Is this guy the hot, trendy pick right now?
Ooh, we had a poll question on that fired a lot of people up yesterday.
We have Daily Ticker today is a hodgepodge of how we feeling about these things. And I got audio to go with that. Oregon is at Rutgers this weekend. And so we'll get into all of it. Loaded second hour is around the corner. So I want to address kind of something happening in the NFL, around the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So you had mentioned this, I think, either Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't recall the day, but
it's all a blur. I don't know what day
you had recall. You had said that Caleb Williams, coming off of the DC game, received the lowest quarterback grade from PFF.
Yeah, Patrick came in and told us that stat. On Pro Football Focus, they graded him the worst quarterback in the NFL this past weekend. And we all asked, did you watch the Jets?
Right. So I've actually been monitoring the situation, and it usually happens once a year, but it really kind of picked up steam this week in a real interesting way. People are starting to now, from former players, current players, and media members, are starting to just question and wonder, what analytics are you guys using?
Yeah.
For example, in the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game, Myles Garrett had one of his worst games from a stats perspective since 2021. They shut him out. He did nothing, and the Steelers blanked the Browns. TJ Watt registered multiple tackles, had a sack and a half, had a good game for what he is, right? PFF graded Myles Garrett higher than TJ Watt. So JJ Watt came out and basically said, what are we doing here?
What is this all about?
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Chris Collinsworth went on Kay Adams' show and defended it and said, if you want to see how the chips are made, come to the potato chip plant and we'll show you. You're welcome to see all our metrics and how we do this. Trevor Sycamore, who we've had on the show before, is their draft guy. He basically says he doesn't have stats, but he had a presence. And so the defense of the metrics at PFF and the conversation around analytics and how we're grading players has reached a pretty big high. Here was Chris Long on his Greenlight pod talking about what he saw with the graphics on the Kansas City Chiefs game against the Lions on Sunday Night Football.
Get Mahomes quarterback 13 of 32 off my television screen. We're talking about legislation, what our kids shouldn't see at school, what they shouldn't be learning about. Like, should we have political ads on television? I want the PFF scores off the TV as bad as I want political ads off the television because, God forbid there's somebody watching a game who doesn't know who Patrick Mahomes is.
Right.
They're going to be badly misguided, brother. 13th best quarterback in the league. I mean, if I was Nandi, and maybe he earned it this year, but I would sue. I'd be in Chris Collinsworth's backyard, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'd be at the window.
That's Derek Nandi, by the way, who's ranked dead last at his position according to PFF. And as he said there, Mahomes is 13th according to PFF as a quarterback rank of 32 starting quarterbacks.
I love the pushback. I do. I have always argued I think it provides a different way to look at the sport. It provides a different way to look at value. I do think the angle of guys who don't have a massive stat profile in a game having a big impact is something that I'm glad that we can measure, right? Defensive tackles are the prime example of this. Guys who maybe don't have a ton of sacks, who maybe don't have a ton of tackles or tackles for loss. But are they plugging their gap on every play? Are they taking up two blockers so linebackers are freed to flow downhill and make tackles for loss? There's a lot of ways you can impact the game that is outside just simply how many tackles for loss or how many sacks did you have if we're just looking at that position group. So I'm glad that there's a way that we can kind of observe it and then say, okay, that's how we should feel and that's how we should grade that performance. It just jumps the shark too many times, and I'm glad that there's pushback on this. Saying Patrick Mahomes is the 13th best quarterback in the NFL is just laughably stupid. It just anybody with a brain and eyeballs knows there are not 12 quarterbacks who are better than him, and there have not been 12 better quarterbacks in the NFL this year. Go ahead and name them, and I'd love to hear the list of names that show up ahead of him. A guy who has played with no wide receivers all season. One of them is finally back from a collarbone injury. The other one's going to be back this past weekend. A tight end who has clearly lost a step and doesn't run the way that he used to.
You don't need to defend your take. Everybody knows he's not the 13th best quarterback in the NFL.
It's just dumb. And this is where I think the analytical community needs to be shoved into a locker from time to time. There are ways that you can provide a different way that we can look at the sport, and I'm happy that you provide that way. But no, absolutely not. There's this is going on in college right now. Like I mentioned the Oregon State guard who was getting graded as like one of the best guards in the country early in the year.
Yeah.
And then it's like, wait a minute, they can't block anybody. So I know it's not all on him, but you can't tell me he's the second best.
Hog him up, Sikorsky.
You know who has the second best offensive line in all of college football according to Pro Football Focus right now?
Who's that?
My Oregon Ducks. Now, again, I don't think all of the sacks were on them, and I think we've discussed that in a nuanced way throughout the course of the week. Has anybody watched them and thought, you know what, that's the second best offensive line in the country? I have eyes. I watch the games.
I just kind of I think having analytics is great. I think there are advanced analytics that certainly coaches, staffs, and players look at that are helpful. The one area I tend to agree with some of the other side is, like, player grades are kind of stupid. There just aren't metrics that you can fully say. Like, what's the stat you would use? 2 minutes left, Super Bowl on the line, quarterback you won. Now, there might be a stat that tells me Jared Goff
is the best in that situation.
And maybe by game-winning drives or whatever the analytics are. Like, I'm just giving an example here. But everybody and their mom would choose number 13 of the Chiefs.
Yes.
So what's the point of it? It's like, I don't need advanced analytics to know that Patrick Mahomes is one of the more clutch football players I've ever seen in my life. And clutch is not it's just not, it's something you can't quite quantify.
Yeah. Other than game-winning drives and success rate in those moments.
Sure.
But it doesn't even have to mean that guy's the most successful. Although I think in Mahomes' case he is. I think he has more game-winning drives than anybody in the league over the last 5 to 6 years. So there is statistical evidence to back it up. But your point being very valid. Even if that didn't say it, I would still want nobody else with the ball more than having him with the ball late in the game.
If you took the stats away from me, I'd still choose him, right?
Because I watched him and I've seen him and I know how he executes in those moments.
Player grades are that's the one area I'm starting to tend to agree with the football community that's not all the way dove into advanced analytics of like, yeah, you take those away, totally cool with that.
I think there's a good pushback right now in sports of there has to be a blend of this. It doesn't mean that it's irrelevant. It doesn't mean that they don't have any purpose. It doesn't mean that it can't provide you any insight. But if it's your religion, then it's a problem for you. I think a lot of baseball teams have fallen into this, and we get debates from former players and current analysts of like, no, you don't understand, man. Babbitt and whip and all these different metrics that nobody's ever heard of before are more important than batting average. And former players have like, he's hitting 219. What are we talking about here? Hit 276. That's all. I'm not asking you to hit 400. So it's nice that there's kind of a back and forth, and that has certainly been the case in the NFL this weekend. If you thought Caleb Williams was the worst quarterback in the league, you don't have eyes. You didn't watch the games.
We have a lot to get to in the second hour of the program. This is the weekend it is in this sport, and I'll explain what I mean with that. Hour number 2, Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 The Fan. Hey, everybody. Sprague here.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Joe Flacco and the Bengals took down the Steelers in a high-scoring Thursday night football affair, snapping a 4-game losing streak for the Bengals. Recently acquired QB Joe Flacco threw for 3 touchdowns, airing it out for 342 yards en route to Cincinnati's 33-31 victory in Thursday night football. Flacco has also tied Tom Brady for the most wins against Pittsburgh since 1950. Over to the Diamond as Toronto ties the series back at 2 games apiece in the ALCS. The Mariners were able to get out to an early lead, but George Springer and the Blue Jays' bats came alive once more as Toronto took Game 4 8-2. Seattle will host the Blue Jays today just after 3 p.m. And the Dodgers hope to wrap up the NLCS sweep today after their 3-1 victory in Game 4. The Dodgers will start Shohei Ohtani on the bump as Pat Murphy's Brewers will once again go to the bullpen for Game 5. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of prime time with Isaac and Sue. Weekdays 3 to 7. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM. Dirt and Sprague continues.
So your wife tells you something. I need to know, where are we going with this?
Andy Dirt Johnson.
She said, you know what I think we should contemplate buying? She wants to put our kid on a leash.
Brandon Sprague.
It's like seeing a tiger in a zoo. You just feel awful for it.
More Dirt and Sprague.
Look, she's an unbelievable mom. She carries all the weight in our family. I have to preface all this because she says I only throw her under the bus on the air.
So you just threw her under the
on the Fan Sports Network.
All right, welcome back in. Dirt and Sprague 105.1, The Fan Sports Network. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody.
Hey. We had a thought from a listener at the Fan text line saying, from P1 Corn Dog, just want you to know I hope Sprague's pillow is hot and itchy for a week for jinxing my Steelers last night. So, people don't forget.
Agreed.
Hot and itchy pillow.
Casey's
Nothing cool.
finally jumping in. Yeah, I'm pissed off. I didn't want to tell him earlier, but I am.
No flipping that pillow over for the cool side of the pillow. You got one hot and itchy for you for a week.
Okay.
Uncomfortable sleep.
That's very fair, Corn Dog, and I'm sorry, Mariner fans. God. Sling those arrows my way, man. I'll take them.
You're like that meme now, the guy taking all the shots and everybody's laying behind. You're the one taking the shrapnel right now.
Never mind the Mariners offense and Kirby and Castillo and the Steelers defense all cowering behind me in the fetal position because they're really to blame for what happened and not me just saying they can't lose and then they lost.
How about Naylor getting thrown out? Cardinal sin. You do not make the last out of an inning at third base. Just rally's happening, you're back in the game, you score a run, and he gets hosed at third base. You get a great home run early in the game, you're feeling awesome about that, but those little things add up. That was one of the few moments it felt like throughout the game where you had momentum and maybe you're going to get back into the game, and then he got gunned down at third and inning over.
The other baseball series, by the way, is finito, so I'm not even going to bring that up today. Just want to say that for the record and then move on.
You want to try with the Dodgers? We want to give it a shot? There's no way the Dodgers blow a 3-0 series lead. I mean, it's worth the gamble at this point.
There's no way the Dodgers will lose the series.
There you go. Thank you.
Now, what happens if I'm right on that?
Nah, it doesn't count. There's too much mounting evidence.
So you want my
you
jinx.
need a streak of non-jinxes in order to get rid of the jinx label. One's not going to do it, but let's test your magic a little bit. I feel like we just discovered you have the ability to do some cool magical stuff, and now I'm just trying to harness that energy for good.
From time to time, you look at the NFL slate and you say, okay, that game and that game and this game and that game, right? Outside of your fandoms, of course, because you always care. You look at the slate of games and you can probably identify anywhere from 3 to 7 games that you're interested in. And then maybe almost all of them become interesting because they're within one score in the witching hour, right?
The 10 a.m. witching hour is just one of the best moments of the entire week.
I actually think we have a theme this week.
Oh, what's our theme?
And you can say maybe last night started this a little bit, although I don't know if anybody would put this in this category. I think this weekend's games, the slate of them, there's quite a few that I'm circling and I'm saying, prove it games. We are 6 weeks in for most teams, 6 games into the season.
Well, we're nearing the halfway point.
We are. And I just think you can look into week 7 and I can circle a game and say, absolute prove it. Right? Let's just start with the 6:30 a.m. London crap fest, that is. How about this one? At Wembley Stadium, the Rams without Nakua and the Jags off of a loss facing another NFC West team. Now, you may say the Rams are in this. I'm circling and saying, prove it, Jags. You're legit. Now, 6:30 London games are weird. They're wonky.
Yep.
But the Jags have had some real numbers to prove they're legit. And then the Seahawks just bullied them last weekend.
Torched them, yeah.
So, prove it. How about the Bears? Great road win. You won at DC in the pissing rain. Amazing fight. Got a good run game. Caleb was good. Like, Rome's come on. Well, in come the battered and bruised 1-5 Saints. I think in the last 10 years, this is the game Bears fans go, we lose this game somehow.
Yeah, you're going to find a way. Something dumb's going to happen and you're going to screw it up.
So, are you going to prove that maybe you have taken this step with Ben Johnson? Is Caleb going to be good again? Nobody cares about Dolphins, Browns, Patriots, Titans. Yeah, no thanks.
I would say for the Pats, I know it sounds dumb, but that's the bump of the fired coach thing is a real stat in the NFL. Well, hell, all of sports.
Do you have a stat on the fired coach bump?
No, Lucy gave us one on Thursday. I can't remember off the top of my head, but she gave us one on Wednesday, and it was 7 of the last 8 have won the game. I can't remember.
I believe that if this wasn't a Vrabel, I'm going to punch you in the mouth for what you did to me game.
We once had the Caleb Canales game in Portland. So that's all the evidence that I need. If the Caleb Canales game can exist, I think any game could exist. So it's not to lose. It's just is that game dumb and uncomfortable for some reason? New England just went on the road, and they were back and forth with New Orleans. It's not like New Orleans is a wagon this year. Now, Tennessee's probably worse than them. But to your point on prove it, if you're a legitimate bona fide playoff team, you go in there and you win that game by 10, and it's comfortable the entire time because Tennessee sucks.
Eagles-Vikings?
Yes.
A lot of chatter about the Vikings and the coach. He can make any quarterback win. Well, we'll see. I think McCarthy might be back this weekend.
Yeah, could be in line to play.
And Eagles they're smelling funky. That offense is smelling funky. Is A.J. Brown in trade discussions? There's a lot there for Philadelphia, given what they're coming off of with the Giants on Thursday. Broncos, you're facing a decent defense, at least a really stout defensive pass rush.
You got Dart, you got Scattaboo ready to ram their heads at you for 4 quarters.
Can you show us some semblance of consistent offense through 4 quarters? That so far has not really been the thing for them. The Colts are at the Chargers. Talk about buying even more stock in a team that shocked everybody. The Colts going to L.A. and also the Chargers, even though they're beaten up, they don't want to be 4-3.
No, you find a way to win that game. That's a huge one.
And Falcons-Niners. I think you could circle that for both teams. Falcons, you win this game if you've taken that step. And the Niners, you're a slight home favorite, and maybe you're getting Purdy back. Kittle says he's going to be back. Bucks at the Lions does a lot. And the Seahawks at home have been dog-s. You got the Texans coming in. So, I really think you look at that laundry list, and there's a lot of prove-its, I think, that is going to resonate with people depending on who wins those games.
I'm going to throw a couple more at you, too, because I agree with all the games that you listed and all the teams. It's going to be a really fun week in the NFL. And it's, the NFL is the epitome of you look at the slate and you're like, yeah, there's not a lot of great games this weekend. And then at 12:45 on Sunday afternoon, they're all one-score games in the fourth quarter with changing leads and
100%.
Crazy stuff happening. And so it's the beauty of the sport. Even last night, you poo-poo, it's Pittsburgh-Cincinnati with Joe Flacco, 40-year-old quarterback.
Pittsburgh's going to be 5-1.
And then you turn it on, you're like, oh my God, is this 2007 all over again? Everybody's, throwing long touchdowns. How entertaining is this? The NFC playoff picture right now to me is very interesting. Who's the best team in the NFC?
I think people would say Philly or Detroit.
Okay.
Maybe give it to Philly till they're dethroned.
Okay. And that's fair. I don't disagree with the take of they were there, and so you need somebody to, take the mantle from them. I understand the argument.
Although maybe there's some people, and this is to my prove it point, maybe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are there for people.
Who do they play this weekend?
Yeah.
They're in Detroit Monday night, so that's a big one for me. I also think Detroit, for as good as they've looked in moments, has shown vulnerabilities in moments, and that's every team, so it's not a criticism of Detroit.
Didn't play great against Kansas City.
And Philly, to your point, is off of back-to-back losses now, and they're treading in the wrong direction. Now, I think we all have faith in those two teams of figuring it out, and they're going to be fine in the long run, similar to kind of the theme around Kansas City this year. 2 others that I've circled for this weekend. The Commies are 500.
I know.
Coming off a Monday Night Football loss in which it was like, oh my God, they're losing the entire game, to, whoa, they're going to find a way to win this, to fumble, oh my God, they lost the game.
It's a bizarre season they're having.
Very bizarre season.
They were really good against the Chargers.
Dallas can score on literally anybody. Now, their defense is ass, so that should be an easy over hit. And, tune in for Sprague in the line later today. We should all just start taking the over in Cowboy games.
I've been cashing that check every week.
Commies lose. They're below 500 7 weeks into the season, or 7 games into the season. They're 3-4. And so they were a team that was in the NFC title game last year.
They'd be behind the Cowboys.
Yes, in the standings if they lose. So that's one that I've absolutely circled of like, I think you're good. I know that you've dealt with injuries. I know your quarterback's been out.
Yeah.
Are you going to lose on the road to the Cowboys this weekend? And then another one that I'll give you. What are the Green Bay Packers? Can anybody explain the Green Bay Packers to me?
Frustrating, but good.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair way to put it. They have moments where they've looked like the best team and the best defense in the league, and then they have moments where you're like, ugh, that was ugly. They're on the road at Arizona this weekend. Is Jacoby Brissett starting again? I don't know if it matters. Maybe it does.
It sounds like it is Brissett because
he was better than Kyler. He was outstanding last week in Indy.
Did you see the coach, by the way?
Gannon on the 07 Michael Vick arrest?
Did you hear that?
I did hear that.
I should have pulled it, but basically Gannon, the Cardinal coach, who was asked, like, hey, man, dealing with adversity and losing guys to injury, when in your coaching career did you basically learn that you just have to be ready to play without your guys? Is a summation of the question.
Yes.
It's just like the tone of it was the interesting part. He goes, 2007, our quarterback went to jail. He just like,
and that was it. That was the end of the answer. Just moved on.
Flatly said it as if it wasn't a controversial moment and like a massive sport, one of the biggest sports stories of our lifetimes.
Huge.
He was a quality control analyst on the Falcons team, and so he's just like 2007 when our quarterback went to jail.
He was murdering dogs in his backyard, and he went to prison for a year.
I think he has a real. Man, he's got a real stench to him. He might be the next coach fired. I think it's him or McDaniel at this point. But
they were competitive last week on the road at the Colts. Damn near pulled off an upset. So I just wanted to throw two more into your bunch because I agree with your theme on the weekend of the NFL.
And I'm always looking for one. I'm always interested in the standings, right? Like the Commanders thing is fascinating if they fall to 3-4.
Yes. What if the Giants win and the Commies lose? The Giants would be 3-4 and the Commies would be 3-4, and they would be tied for last place in the NFC East. Well, the Cowboys
would be ahead of them because they won the head-to-head.
Yes, but record-wise, they'd be tied.
Point. And that's the weird thing is like because and college is obviously dealing with this because how week to week the league is. Mm-hmm. And how almost month to month, like who is this team in September and then who is the team in October? We all have these, like everybody does this, right? No matter what people say at the text line or in the YouTube chats, everybody is a wave of opinion. How are you not? If you get, I'm discovering this in European football. The week-to-week takeaways in soccer, and it's like they play it's the same thing. It's one game a week.
So you got a week to kind of stew on it and talk about it. And
it's exactly the same feelings for people, except they want to fire people way more frequently than the NFL.
Fire his ass.
But in the NFL, it's what we deal with. The Chargers getting that miracle win at the Dolphins, because it was a miracle win.
Yes, it was.
Come back, you lose to the Colts, who already lost in Los Angeles. And the Colts being 6-1 would just be baffling and blow me away.
Well, and the other side of that, too, would be, oh, my God, the Chargers are 5-2, and they've been decimated by injuries, and they're going to get healthier as the rest of the season goes on.
And so my weekend takeaway for the NFL, because I'm excited for a lot of these games, really is there's prove-its. If the Colts are 6-1, I don't know what your counter is to the Colts being a good NFL team if you're not already there.
There's no counter.
And then it's both sides of the coin, Tampa and Detroit, right? Tampa loses. They're a little bit of a mash unit right now. It doesn't sound like Ibuka's going to play, and Evans might be back, but you're going to kind of just go, okay, pumping the brakes on Baker MVP right now, aren't we? Whereas if Detroit loses, you're going to go, whoa, Lions, what's going on with you?
That's the 4-3 Detroit Lions who win. What did they go last year? 15-1, 16-1, whatever it was.
I'm pumped for it, man. Yeah. I think college has some okay games. Obviously, we have local interests here of what are the Ducks going to respond with and whatnot. I think the NFL is a big prove-it weekend in a lot of these games because they're just going to continue to prove either how we feel about teams or we have to second-guess ourselves or we have to scratch our heads and go, this makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
What's happening with this team or that team?
It might be like a moment that we look back on and laugh and say, remember when we felt that way halfway through the year?
Are you not already there with some of these teams?
Oh, without a doubt.
I've already had that feeling twice.
No doubt. I think when you look at the rest of the way, last year you had, what was Philly's record in the regular season? 1 or 2 losses. I mean, just an absolute wagon. Detroit was a 1-loss team or a 2-loss team. Remember, they beat Minnesota in the last week of the season to win the division, but they were just
Detroit was 15-2 last
15-2. What was Kansas City? Kansas City was a 1-loss team or 2-loss team, and one of the games that they lost was we sat everybody in the last week of the regular season game. So when they played guys, they only lost 1 game, and so they might have been eking out wins. And you're like, how can they keep getting away with this? But there were 3 teams that felt like they ran away from everything record wise, and then Philly and Kansas City cruised into the Super Bowl to face off against each other. That's the beauty of this year. And again, we might go back and laugh at this take at the end of the year. Everybody feels vulnerable. And the teams that have the best record right now, there are only 3 teams left in the NFL who only have 1 loss.
Well, I think it's the earliest. It wasn't the stat. It's like the earliest in X amount of years we've gone without having an undefeated
There's
team.
not one of those stories. Usually there is of like, hey, 8-0, 9-0, how far are they going to push
the
it?
Champagne was popped early this year.
Yes, and you have the Colts, the Bucks, and the Packers. And the Packers are a 1-loss team, but they also have a tie, so you're kind of like, that's kind of an ugly one.
I know.
You got 2 5-1 teams, and that's it. Both of them could lose this weekend, and you might have no 1-loss teams. The NFL's been a lot of fun. There seems to be a bit of a void of who's that team going to be. And again, maybe at the end of the year it's still Kansas City and Philly, but it makes for really fun storylines this time of year.
A conversation that needs to be had about a local school. We'll do it next on 105.1 The Fan.
Oregon 80 AM.
Picture the former LSU coach prowling and growling on Oregon State's sideline. The student section decked out in shirts that read Orgeron State and Go Beavers. Imagine Oregon hyping up the crowd, or Orgeron, hyping up the crowd at Gill Coliseum during basketball season, strolling the streets of Corvallis shirtless. You want to invigorate the state's largest institution of higher ed? Higher ed. Oregon State is craving credibility and attention after the Pac-12 crumbled and Trent Bray was fired.
Go Beavs, how about that?
That's from Bill Oram, Oregon Live, the Oregonian, local scribe, the columnist. And I texted with him yesterday. He's all in. He thinks Oregon State's only option is Ed not realistically, but their option number one amongst all the others should far and away be Ed Orgeron. And I'm just going to say this because I disagreed on some of the stuff and we text back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I will not refute, there isn't anybody that I think could build bigger buzz for where you're at.
Nobody.
Than him. If we're being real, like James Franklin's not coming to Corvallis, right?
There are names who are bigger than Orgeron, but you cannot hire them. They're not coming to your school.
So if it's a guy from UC Davis or Montana State, they might be good coaches. Buzz-wise, there isn't a bigger option you can have than Ed Orgeron.
Yeah, and I think that the counter-argument is, look how bad Les Miles was at Kansas. I've seen that put out there a bunch in the last day of a guy who was a national champion coach. The sport kind of passed him by. He took some time off, went to Kansas, and it was an unmitigated disaster. I also think because you have one example of it going that way does not mean that every example of these kind of coaches is going to go that way.
I mean, Gary Anderson wasn't the sexiest national title winning guy, but he kind of came in with some similar stuff of, oh my God, we stole Wisconsin's Big Ten championship appearing coach.
Yes.
And that also did the same thing as Les Miles.
I also think he had some off the field stuff that maybe distracted him, or but that's
Have you seen Ed Orgeron lately?
Dude, he's shirtless and he's ready to go.
He's super tan. I think he's taken all kinds of vitamins. His teeth are even more white and fake.
Go Beavers, how about that? Go Beavers, let's go get recruiting.
And also, for the record, very uncomfortable way that ended.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
We don't report that here.
We don't even talk about that stuff here. I would live in the world if I were a Beaver fan of hiring somebody who is an up and coming coach would probably be my top wish list, right? A guy who's an X's and O's, a guy who maybe doesn't have the same national juice, but you trust. The reminder that we all have to give ourselves is none of these guys are guarantees. And all of our opinions on coaching hires have been woefully wrong for years and years and years. I, at one point, demanded Oregon go out and hire Kevin Sumlin to be their next head coach. How would that have worked out, right? Like, none of us have any ideas. So I'm not going to dismiss anything just off of the surface, and I do buy into the theory that they, as a program, could benefit greatly from some juice. They have no juice. They are irrelevant. Their last head coach was as boring as humanly possible. The coach before him at least won, but he was also as boring as humanly possible.
Yeah.
But he could drive donations because he got to 10 wins and he won a Fiesta Bowl back in the day. Trent Bray clearly didn't have the ability to do that. And one of the things, we talked to Pate about this yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
One of the biggest things that you need to accomplish in a coaching hire is who's going to get people excited? Who's going to get donors to open up their wallets? Who's going to get people to talk about your team and want to come back to games? And is that the end-all be-all? No, and it doesn't guarantee you're going to win squat, but there's at least an argument to be made that they could benefit greatly from doing that. Whether it's a 2-year hire, a 3-year hire, I don't know how long it would last.
Yeah.
It would bring juice back to the football program. There's no doubt about that.
We put a poll question up yesterday at Dirt and Sprague. Oregon State fans, would hiring Ed Orgeron get you fired up for the future of Oregon State football? Yes or no? Yes is still, and you can go vote. There's about 2 hours left on the poll. Yes is a resounding answer on this. 75.9% of you say yes. Over no. I would also counter with this, and I this is kind of, I'm not getting all the details of what me and Orm were texting because I thought it was a great column. I told him where I disagreed. That's what a columnist should do. Make me think.
Yes.
And he brings up very valid points. Like, imagine getting a national title winning coach, whether he was the X's and O's genius behind it or not.
Dude, who cares? Why do we use that again? He was the head coach.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, but there are coaches that win those things that never get like Gus Malzahn for everybody was the guy who won with Cam Newton, not Gene Chizik, right?
Yeah.
There are exceptions to these. Nick Saban's title One of them, let's just use the LSU one, not the same to people as maybe Ed Orgeron's, even though Orgeron's team is maybe the most talented team ever assembled. But the point is, a national title winning coach who is desperate to be in the limelight again, desperate to prove that he can still do it. And if there's anybody that's going to get in the mud and roll around, it's going to be that dude.
Yep.
And it might be shady and might feel a little gross, but you're going to go, I don't care anymore. It's college football. It's all gross. Here's my counter.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm struggling. I don't know where I don't have trust with the AD, and they're still assembling the committee. They're still assembling all that stuff. Are you better served to go Rob Mullins' route? And I commend this guy all the time for it publicly, because it's when you hire Mario Cristobal after Willie Taggart, there's a lot of, you hired the guy that the students wanted.
Yeah.
You're Oregon.
The interim
open that
guy.
thing up. You hired the interim guy.
Yeah.
Worked out pretty well. And then you have the next hire come up. And look, George is a good profile, but you hired an assistant with zero experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to memory hole what some Duck fans thought about that. Like, what?
He was hired, and the majority of the fan base said, who?
Right. And some of them were even like, we can't get a guy with experience?
Yeah, you can't get a guy who's been a head coach before?
Boy. And I know it's coming off a loss, but you're sitting there going, damn, dude, he hit, right? Like, I commend the courage to do that. It's not as easy as you think it is. And so I don't trust the guy, but, like, are they better served to go Ed Orgeron, or are they better to serve to go positional coach from the Big 12 or 10? Is there a tight ends or wide receivers coach we've never heard of that they hire and you go, what? But he's dynamite recruiter, sadistic, and wants to show you, I'm ready to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You can laugh at it right now. Brent Brennan had a little bit of this at San Jose State, and I know it's at San Jose State, but that's kind of where you're at, right?
Yes.
And he injected life, and he took them to heights they hadn't seen in a long time. And he's 4-2 at Arizona year 2. We'll see where it goes. But he was nothing but a wide receivers coach. So it's not the impossibility that it can't work with that. Mm-hmm. It's more so, what's more logically the route for them that makes sense? Because I understand injecting life. You also need a guy that's going to recruit his butt off and understands football and can say in 3 years, are you in a playoff as a group, a dark horse group of 6 team? Like, that should all be the criteria for this stuff.
Yeah, I don't question the ability of Ed Orgeron to recruit, and I don't question the ability of Ed Orgeron to open wallets and raise money, because I think he has that kind of charismatic personality, and him going around to booster meetings with his Cajun accent would just be hilarious, and I think it would be beneficial in that regard. The biggest question about him is what kind of staff can he put together? Because that's the deal. When you hire a CEO-type head coach, which he absolutely is, who's his offensive coordinator going to be that he's coming with? Who's his defensive coordinator going to be? What's the budget for that coaching staff that you can go find? Like, who are candidates that are viable, that make sense, that you can afford, that he has relationships with? And if I'm Scott Barnes, those are the biggest questions that I have for a guy like Ed Orgeron. Because his ability to recruit has always been touted. His ability to raise money and NIL funds and donations has always been touted. His question is, he has to hire coaches that call the offense and call the defense, because that's not his forte. And he walks around on the sideline and gets carried off the field when they win, but he's just not an X's and O's guy in that regard.
So let me ask you this, because he's not, I have a hard time seeing Scott Barnes do the I'm hiring Ed Orgeron because I want to be outshined in a room thing, based on how I've heard him talk. Dude thinks of himself pretty highly.
Yes. I would be surprised if it happened. I just am of the mindset of, you are in such a bad spot that dismissing anything on the surface is a mistake.
Oh, I agree.
And I've seen 100%. A lot of Beaver fans like, I wouldn't want anything to do with him. Why? Because you won a title 6 years ago. All right, you're 0-7. You might lose a Lafayette this weekend. Like, you got nothing.
Zero room to say anything.
You shouldn't be able to say no to any coaches. You should be welcoming them all to come interview for you. You are desperate at this point. And so that's where I largely stand. I don't know what's ultimately going to end up being the right answer for the program and what the right coach is going to be. I don't have a lot of faith in Scott Barnes making the right decision. But I would absolutely interview him and get a sense of where he's at, what kind of staff he'd be willing to put together, and how much money he felt like he could come in and raise and to help put together a winning roster away.
Can I give you, I know we're against it, we need to get to the ticker here, so I apologize.
Yeah.
Can I give you an idea that I had that I was texting with a buddy about? And I'm not trying to say that this is some original thought that hasn't already either been said, discussed, or thought of by other people. I just look at the landscape and I say, I think this is a pretty fairly obvious thing. Like, even though they're currently searching for a coach down in Corvallis, and there's a lot out there that they could do, like, directionally, I text with a buddy that I think if they're smart, which, fair to wonder that right now.
Are they?
Would you not also, while you're looking for your next coach and immediately hire that person, would you not also form some kind of committee, combination of former coach, former player, and I'd venture into the pools of Dave Bartu's and say, I need smart minds and football people in a group that I pay a small fee to, and I say, this is an earthquake drill. You don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to happen. You need to be prepared at all times and identify to me lists of the best coaches not getting enough conversation. So at any one point, you're not hiring out of fear. You're hiring with best hire intentions, and you're always prepared. Because you can't hire somebody and go, well, I'm afraid he's going to leave.
Yeah.
You're Oregon State.
That's
already your lot in life,
Yes.
dude. So don't not hire out of that reason.
You just hired the one coach who wouldn't leave, and then you fired him.
And your other guy would have never left, and he left.
Then he
So
left, yeah.
I
You can't operate in that
That's
world.
like a small other part of this is like, go hire the best coach. And then don't do it out of fear for leaving. Make some kind of group of people who are constantly providing you, like scouting in the NFL, constantly giving you updates
An
on
evolving
players.
list of coaches who,
Hey, this guy at this assistant here, this
Yeah.
positional coach, he's moving up the ranks here. Like,
this guy at Troy, this guy at South
100%.
Alabama, this
Dude,
guy is an
yes,
up-and-comer at
that
North
nobody
Texas.
talks about.
Yeah, I think that's a really smart way to do it. I remember the Alabama AD saying that he would always have an envelope in his desk at all times, hoping to never open it, of who his big board of coaches would be whenever he got the news that Nick Saban is stepping away.
You need to be
and it
doing
would
that.
evolve every
Yes.
year, and the names would change, and here's his hot board of guys he would call, and he has a sealed envelope in his desk just in case the day ever came, and then the day came and he had to find a way to go hire another coach.
So you're not stuck in a position to go, damn, who do we go to now?
Yeah, but I
You
think
don't want to be in that spot.
You're essentially at three options: the retread head coach and Ed Orgeron type, the up and comer who is at a smaller program, your Brent Vegans, if you will, Jason Eck. I don't know if Oregon State can get Jason Eck. I know he's a name that a lot of people want, or you're taking the flyer on a coordinator. Ryan Grubb's name has been brought like that. Those are the three paths that you can go down. What is the right path? Nobody has any idea. And now we just got to wait and see who's going to ultimately get interviews and looks.
All right, we'll move on from this. Daily Ticker is next. An interesting Daily Ticker brought to you on The Fan by Pelican Brewing is next on The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This sports update read is brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club. Good or bad weather, the course is always the driest around. Download the Langdon Farms app today to get all the latest news and specials. First on The Fan, Joe Flacco and the Bengals took down the Steelers in a high-scoring Thursday night football affair, snapping a 4-game losing streak for the Bengals. Recently acquired QB Joe Flacco threw for 3 touchdowns, airing it out for 342 yards in Cincinnati's 33-31 victory Thursday night. Flacco has also tied Tom Brady for the most wins against Pittsburgh since 1950. The Indiana Hoosiers have reached an agreement with head football coach Curt Cignetti, making him one of the highest-paid coaches in the FBS, signing a new 8-year, $93 million contract. Over to the Diamond as Toronto ties the series back at 2 games apiece in the ALCS. The Mariners were able to get out to an early lead, but George Springer and the Blue Jays bats came alive once more as Toronto took Game 4 8-2. Seattle will host the Blue Jays today just after 3 p.m. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Sports Saturday with Joe Fisher and Rashad Taylor. Saturday mornings at
Dude, I'm going home. I just got told it's the end of the show, man.
This is my
That is
fault.
100% on you.
I'm raising my hand. I'm
Hand
taking
up.
the blame.
Hand up here.
I know.
Gotta find some music.
Yeah, to find music. That's all he can find. It's all he's got out there.
Well, I went way too long in our last segment, so I kind of railroaded the ticker. We'll do the ticker coming up next. And then I put Casey on the clock. Casey's still learning a lot. There's a lot to learn with this job.
His head's spinning right now. He's just trying to get to the end of the show alive.
He's just trying to get to the weekend.
And you give him, you got 45 seconds. Can you take that out and put something else in its place? And it was a bit of a nut crunch to get that done in time.
I'll tell you right now, Casey.
We're working on it.
When I did a free internship in Seattle, so I had to find a place to stay and commute from Tacoma to Seattle every day at 4 a.m., unpaid, I would get absolutely reamed. And I mean yelled at, making little mistakes that weren't even on air half the time.
No, you couldn't even notice them.
Like I told a guy that was just an update guy, I said, hey, I got Tiger Woods audio when he was going through the scandal. He goes, the F are you doing in there? You are running the block. It's like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I did my job.
I'm sorry.
I'm not paid.
Softy yelling at you. Where's my cigarette? Calm down, Softy. All right.
You know what, though? You can always count on Sundays with the NFL and CBS, Paramount Plus, stream your local live NFL game all Sunday, all season long. $30 for your first year, ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started.
Boom goes the dynamite.
We got the ticker. We're going to get to it, so this is kind of a shorter segment. I just, I kind of put a bow on it, I guess, in a way of everybody's going to give their opinion on who to hire.
Yeah, everybody's going to have a take on it.
And Barnes... Does Barnes strike you as take big risk guy or Jay Hill, defensive coordinator at BYU? He coached under former Beeve coordinator Kalani Sitake. His defense is ranked this, and I believe in him because that's where I think he's going to go with this stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe he'll shock. Maybe he'll I think, have me in awe.
Yeah, there's not a lot of faith for Bray in me, and I think that's been a sentiment as I'm scrolling through text at the fan text line.
You mean Barnes?
Barnes,
yeah.
Sorry, yeah, Barnes.
There's no more belief in
No
Bray.
more belief in Bray. He is officially gone. The other part of this that'll just be an interesting thing to keep an eye on is how many guys are there, because I think they're going to take their time with this. You're not going to get a hire in the next 3 weeks, although Ed Orgeron is available currently. If you'd like to hire him and get him in place, there would be a benefit to that going into the portal cycle of having your guy ready to go. How many more coaches are going to get fired in the next 2 months? And are there any of those guys that are on your list? Jonathan Smith is the obvious one, and I love the immediate pushback of, we don't want anything to do with him.
Oh, I'm going to put myself back in the camp. I've flip-flopped on this like
Have
a
you?
politician. Talk about not building buzz. There's no juice to that one.
No juice to that at all, really.
None.
Even the marriage being back together and an apology, and I regret my decision. And
it's still too delicate,
soon?
too soft.
Okay.
It's only a year and a half ago. Like
Dame wanted to trade, and then we welcomed him back with open arms.
those are not the same
I
things
know they're not.
at all.
I know they're not. I'm just saying.
Oregon State didn't force his hand.
Well, did they with how incompetent the athletic department is?
No, Oregon, USC, Washington, and UCLA did.
Because we all have so much faith in the president and the athletic director, and everything behind the scenes has gone swimmingly with NIL in this new world of college football. He had no reason to be worried whatsoever about the infrastructure in place behind the scenes, putting him in a position to win.
Here's the fun fact,
None
too.
of it's his fault.
None of it, yeah. Here's the fun fact about this, in all seriousness. I bet that new media rights deal, though, is going to really help them go get
They're getting that new media rights deal.
Candidate.
I'm sure there's a Substack somewhere telling you it's 4 days away and they're going to get it, and it's going to be great for all the schools involved in the conference.
I swear on my mom, for 7 months I've heard this deal is about to be announced.
For
and
4
it's
years we've heard this now.
We've been moving on every week and not talking about how there's no media rights deal.
Back when the Pac-12 was still the Pac-12, we did this every month.
There's
and then
little
the
bits and
died.
pieces of it, but there's not like...
No, you got part of it done.
It's not fully done.
But I would just add, is there anybody else on that list that intrigues you? Not that it's going to be like Billy Napier, random name. I don't think he's going to come to Oregon State, but he won at a lower level. He can recruit. There's a lot of guys that are going to be available in the next 6 weeks is what I'm trying to say. Is there anybody on that list that you're kind of circling and saying, you know what, the fit where he was not good, but we feel like we're a better fit for him here.
We'll see what the committee gives him because that's where he's going to go higher. I don't think it's going to be him going outside of his, and coming to a conclusion. I think it's going to be, what is the committee telling me to do? Okay, I'll do that. All right, let's get to the Daily Ticker coming up next. Dirt and Sprague 105.1, The Fan.
It's time for Who's Stinking It Up?
Do not go in there.
A sports lowlight, ripped from the headlines.
We couldn't do diddly poo.
Brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Schedule your appointment online at threemountains.homeservices.com.
When you have a game like that,
which obviously wasn't your best. Do you concern yourself at all looking over your shoulder about a change being made? Obviously, there was a lot of calls for that after Sunday.
No, not really. I just try to focus on me. It's happened before, and I've looked back over my shoulder before, but that doesn't do any good for me personally, and it doesn't do anything good for this team. So, like I said, I'm just going to focus on me and continue to get better each and every day.
Will Justin Fields have more than -10 net pass yards this weekend, Andrew?
Yes. Yes, final answer. You want a good stat on him? He hasn't thrown a pick yet this year, at least. He's got that going for him.
Will they finally win a game? They got the Panthers at home.
No, they will not.
All right, well, who's stinging it up? Justin Fields and the Jets, brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. They're offering their biggest sale of the year for a limited time. Buy and install a new AC, and Three Mountains will give you a brand new furnace absolutely free. Great deal. More information can be found at ThreeMountainsHomeServices.com. That's ThreeMountainsHomeServices.com. Hey, everybody. Sprague here. When the
Ticker, where Dirt and Sprague hit the big stories you've heard about and some you haven't.
How'd you do that? I'm not even mad. It's amazing.
The Daily Ticker on the Fan is poured by Pelican Brewing. Experience your hops differently with Hard Hops Blackberry Hops Infused Hard Seltzers.
Yeah, Daily Ticker brought to you on the Fan by Pelican Brewing Company. Obviously born at the beach. And now, big announcement. No longer coming soon.
What?
Officially there. Pelican and Rockaway Beach.
It's so good.
It is so good.
God, it's so good.
It's so great.
You go play peekaboo with that location, man.
Dude, I've always said Rockaway, very underrated little coastal town. It's a one-street town. You drive right through it, but great beach. And now you got a Pelican there.
I've not spent much time in my life in Rockaway Beach.
Pronto Pup?
No, I'm not big on Rockaway. Not big on it. I just have never been. I'm not familiar with their game. I got to go check it out.
I like Rockaway.
Okay, you're a Rockaway guy?
Rockaway, yeah. So you can find more information at pelicanbrewing.com, born at the beach. No guests today. Because I wanted to play this. We had massive news announced yesterday.
What happened?
In the sport of college football.
What could it be? What could it be?
It was a head coach making a video, and this is what he said.
My wife, Manette, and I love Indiana University, Bloomington, the state of Indiana, the people we've met. We have very strong feelings about President Whitten and Scott Dolson. And, we've accomplished a lot here in a short amount of time, but still have a lot of work to do. So I couldn't be more proud to be a Hoosier, and I plan on retiring as a Hoosier. And the way that this state has embraced us in our success in football has meant more to me than anything else. So I just wanted to get on camera and let you know that Curt Cignetti is going to work daily to make Indiana the best they can be.
And now that Penn State rumors are dead for Curt Cignetti, 8-year, $93 million deal. Our buddy Adam Rittenberg followed up this morning. If they are to do a buyout, $93 million, fully guaranteed.
If this thing hits the side of the mountain, it's going to cost him a lot of money. I just don't think anybody has that fear right now that it'll hit that level, the side of the mountain.
This will make him the third highest paid coach in all of college football. And I know we're already kind of against it, but I want to play for you because I know you'll enjoy this. One pundit says, what a stupid deal to do.
Ooh.
But there is no way in the world that Curt Cignetti should be the third highest paid coach in the country. He is not in Kirby Smart's league. He is not in Ryan Day's league. He has a big win on the road against Oregon. What else is, listen, I realize he may end up winning the national championship, and those who cover college football are very high on him. But this is not how you make sound decisions. This is how you take your university to the ledge and at some point end up paying for it. The question I was asked a minute ago, is it sustainable? Well, he went to the playoffs last year. Today it looks like he's going back to the playoffs. It looks like it because he's got literally nobody on his schedule. He's 64 years old, so he's got a runway of 6 to 10 years. But you just mortgage your university to an astronomical contract based on what? He didn't beat anybody last year. And I know I'm going to be excoriated for sounding like that guy against Curt Cignetti. I'm just being realistic. It's too bad somebody didn't say the same thing I'm saying about Jimbo Fisher or Mel Tucker or any of these other coaches that ended up with these ridiculous, or James, well, I did say this about James Franklin. That's a great day for Curt Cignetti, but I'll make you a prediction. That athletic director probably gets run out of there in about 5 years because they're not going to be able to sustain this.
Yeah. Paul Feinbaum, stupid thing to do, Indiana. Why would you give the coach that's winning at your program any money?
Get rid of him. The only guy who's ever won 10 games in the history of your school, and he's now backing it up and looking like they're even better in year 2 than they were in year 1. Why would you want to give that guy a contract extension?
Mel Tucker follow up his great year by having another great year?
Let me go ahead and check the notes here. Mel Tucker went 11-2 in 2021 with Kenneth Walker. Everybody's thinking, hey, here comes Michigan State. They give him a big contract extension. The next year, he went 5-7. They gave him the deal after 1 year. Okay. Now, Indiana did this as well. They gave him a contract extension last year en route to a college football playoff appearance in an 11-1 season, and now they've done it again. Look, of course, there's always the possibility that this ends poorly. The easy counter to this, and this is what comes up when we talk about like paying quarterbacks. What's the alternative, Paul? Not give him the extension, let him walk to Penn State?
Like, what are you saying to him?
What are you arguing?
Pay him?
So you want Indiana football that has gone from literally nothing to what appears to be back-to-back college football playoff appearances. They appear to be destined to go to Indianapolis in the Big Ten title game because they need to lose.
They're pretty well coached.
Like they're gonna make some noise this year. They finally are relevant for the first time, and you want them to say, what? No, we're not going to pay our head coach. Let him walk potentially in the offseason?
Because that's how that world works.
Insanity. What are you doing? Of course. Yes, there is a 10% chance that this blows up in their face and he sucks in 3 years and we're like, oh my God, remember that moment in time?
Yep.
I'm not certainly willing to gamble on it. I thought this was a wonderful day for obviously Indiana fans who are clearly bought in, and they are now officially a football school, and the basketball program is dead in terms of popularity. Football is way bigger now, and it should be because they're winning, and the basketball program hasn't done anything in 30 years. I thought it was a great day for the conference because Penn State still has money to spend, and they're still going to go get a noteworthy coach. It would have been a backbreaker for them to lose this kind of new story and maybe a new title contender, if you will, in the mix of the conference and lose them to another conference team.
Right.
And then I think it's just great for college football. Like, I hope we're entering into an era in which guys are going to stay loyal and they're going to build storylines and they're going to have a career at a place with highs and lows. And that's the way the sport largely used to be. You had guys like Joe Paterno and Bobby Bowden and go up and down the list of coaches who felt like they were at a school forever. And it was so fun to watch them for 20 years, and they'd win a title and then have a down year, and then you'd have rivalries that would form. Like, I want that to happen in college football again. And there is way too much movement, and so many coaches are learning the hard way that it's hard to duplicate the same level of success. There's no guarantee you're going to do it. And if you only go 10-2, you're immediately on the hot seat. And so great for college football, great for Indiana, great for the Big Ten, and great for Curt Cignetti, who has gone from making essentially 5 years ago $400,000 to be the head coach of James Madison to now being paid $11.6 million a year.
I also just think highlighting where you rank in coach pay per year, it's kind of, I mean, I think you hit on it right there. It's quarterbacks, man. Like every year we got a new guy.
Does he deserve to make more than Lincoln Riley right now?
I mean,
because that's the guy he just jumped in the standings.
The argument for being against it is Lincoln's resume is longer at more power for schools.
They have the same number of playoff wins.
Yeah, well, touche.
Does he deserve to make more right now than Dabo Swinney, what he's doing at Clemson?
Yeah.
Does he deserve to make more than Steve Sarkisian? These are the coaches that he just jumped. Dan Lanning, Kalen DeBoer, Brian Kelly.
We don't need to convince these deals have always been crazy. Yep. All of these are big risks, right? The buyouts are insane, and this is why they're flirting with private equity. But that's also the world, dude. It's like being in the NBA and saying, we're not going to pay our franchise guy the max contract. Excuse me?
What?
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. Sure, you going to trade him?
Would Feinbaum have been like, SGA, I don't know, man. I don't know if I give him $300 million.
I know he won a title, but it's very expensive.
They're going to live to regret this. The Oklahoma City Thunder are your NBA champions. Like, you're Indiana. So, like, I don't know, man. It's the hot take culture stuff. And he's kind of always had been a guy on the record that hates this guy. He thinks he's just a douchebag and doesn't like him. And
he hates that the Big Ten's won back-to-back titles. They desperately, as a conference, need 3 or 4 teams every year in the mix because that's how you combat the SEC narrative and argument. And the Big Ten largely does not have that. We don't know where Michigan's going to go in years to come. We don't know where Penn State's going to go in years to come.
Right.
And so like USC, maybe it's this year. Maybe it's Washington, but is Jed Fish around long term? Maybe it's Rule, who said basically yesterday he's staying at Nebraska on the Pat McAfee show, which would be great for Nebraska. Like, you need another team in your conference, and Indiana's become that team. It's great that he's staying there.
Daily Ticker brought to you on the Fan by Pelican Brewing Company. Born at the beach and online at pelicanbrewing.com. Rockaway Beach location officially there. So go check it out when you can. Tons of coastal locations. Pacific City, Tillamook, Cannon Beach, Lincoln City, and now Rockaway Beach. Pelican Brewing, born at the beach. Loaded third hour of the program. Sprague in line as well as around the corner. Dirt and Sprague back with hour 3 on 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Joe Flacco and the Bengals took down the Steelers in a high-scoring Thursday night football affair, snapping a 4-game losing streak for Cincinnati. Recently acquired veteran quarterback Joe Flacco threw for 3 touchdowns, airing it out for 342 yards in Cincinnati's 33-31 victory Thursday night. Flacco has also tied Tom Brady for the most wins against Pittsburgh since 1950. The Indiana Hoosiers have reached an agreement with head football coach Curt Cignetti, making him one of the highest-paid coaches in the FBS, signing a new 8-year, $93 million contract. Over to the Diamond as Toronto ties the series back at 2 games apiece in the ALCS. The Mariners were able to get out to an early lead, but George Springer and the Blue Jay Bats came alive once more as Toronto took Game 4 8-2. Seattle will host the Blue Jays today just after 3 p.m. And the Dodgers hope to wrap up the NLCS sweep today after their 3-1 victory in Game 4. The Dodgers will start Shohei Ohtani on the bump as Pat Murphy's Brewers will once again go to the bullpen for Game 5. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the firm of Harris and Meringue. Weekdays 10 to 1. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM. More Dirt and Sprague.
Where are you going? And he's like, I'm going bowling. I just started laughing because I'm like, of course you're going bowling on a random Tuesday night.
Sounds like a great Tuesday night.
It's breakfast time with Dirt and Sprague.
Now, do you have your own ball?
I have 2 balls.
Starting your day with a big cup of dirt and a little splash of Sprague.
Your spare ball, you don't want it to hook as much, so it will go straighter. And then the strike ball, you want to be able to get some crank on that.
Heat on that.
When you hit the pocket, you get big pin action.
Well, I really want to hit the pocket. I mean, come on now.
Dirt and Sprague on the Fan Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 3. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland sports leader, 105.1 FM The Fan.
Are you serious?
I am serious. We got a lot to get to in this hour of radio greatness. We will Sprague the line coming up at 9:30. Your fake sponsors are welcome. 503-864-6326. I wanted to keep going on this a little bit, so if you're just hopping in your car, good morning to you. Hope your Friday's off to a good start. We're talking about Curt Cignetti and the contract that he signed. Before I get to some of the comments on this, he is such a remarkable story, and I have the ability to separate the emotions of what happened this past weekend. This guy 5 years ago, well, first off, he was at Alabama. So he's coaching at Alabama as a wide receiver coach, making like $300,000 a year. And in that moment, at the age of, this has been 2011, so it's like 13, 14 years ago, you're talking about a 50-year-old guy. 50 years old coaching wide receivers at Alabama.
You have to imagine in your mind, you maybe haven't completely given up the idea of it, but you have to imagine at
You're 50
that you're only really a positional assistant coach, right?
Yeah, that's not a bad life. He's making $272 and $300,000 a year.
Like, in Alabama,
it goes
you're
a long
living
ways.
like a king.
And he says, you know what? I've been here for 3 years. This has been great under Saban. I can't live with myself if I don't take the chance to go be a head coach.
Yeah,
I got to go be a head coach.
Yep.
And he goes and takes over the Indiana University of Pennsylvania's college football team.
Isn't that IUPUI?
That is not IUPUI.
It's
IUP. It's just IUP. Oop. He goes to IUP.
Not ooey pooey.
No. And he is there for a number of years. He's there, goes 53-17, wins 10 games in his last year. He had a 12-win season. It's Division II football.
Yeah.
Like, he's making nothing to go coach at that level from a pay decrease at Alabama to be a head coach at that level. He then takes over Elon for 2 years, then goes to James Madison for 5 years. And goes 52-9, 11-1 in his last year, and then takes over the Indiana job. It's a remarkable story in that regard. Some of the comments that we got on this, that look, I'm not saying that none of this is valid and that it can't. There's obviously the possibility this goes bad. Like, we do this from time to time where there's a moment and you're like, how could this ever age poorly? And then it ages poorly, and you think, God, Indiana, what did you do to yourself? A lot of coaches who end up getting bigger contracts and bigger buyouts, sometimes the schools regret them. Hence, look at what happened to James Franklin right now at Penn State. But somebody chimed in on the YouTube chat and said, Indiana's 31st in recruiting. Paul has some fair points considering that those upperclassmen are all out for this year. And what I would say to that is, and maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe it's a blind spot for me. Do we think the expectations at Indiana Even if they go on, let's say they win a couple playoff games and lose in the semifinals this year, that's their year. Maybe they fall short in the Big Ten title game to Ohio State, but they're competitive. You go to the playoff and you lose in round, quarterfinals, whatever. Do we think all of a sudden that's the expectation year in and year out in Indiana? That if he has a 9-3 year or an 8-4 year, we're gonna have hot seat talk with Curt Cignetti. And again, maybe that's a blind spot for me. Prior to last year, do you know how many 9-win seasons Indiana had in their football history?
I do, because I told you the stat like 2 weeks ago.
2.
Yeah.
They had won 9 games twice.
Yeah. One of those was before 1967.
One of them was in 1967, and the other one was in 1945.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 times Indiana football in their history won 9 games. And so you have the James Franklin examples of like, well, he can't beat the big teams and he can't go on a run and he can't win a championship. That's the expectation at Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
And again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in 5 years, Indiana's like, yo, why are we only winning 9 games every year? This is BS. I just don't think it's ever going to be that kind of a job. And so for that reasoning, I don't think he's going to get fired. And you can tell me he's going to lose everybody. You got to go portal everybody in. Guess what, man? They lost half their team last year. All those James Madison transfers are gone. They brought in a new quarterback. They got better than they were a year ago. And so is that going to work every year? No. The portal sometimes hit and sometimes it doesn't. They're not going to be a top 15 recruiter. It's Indiana football, and I think their expectations are going to be in line with Indiana football.
I think the difficult thing is that's just a lot of money, right? So it's instantly going to elicit a response, a reaction. And what I find interesting is they're about to do, as Feinbaum admits to himself, they might go to a second straight playoff.
What if they win the Big Ten this year?
I mean, you could go as high as what if they win the whole enchilada?
Yeah.
Right? And so, like...
Then is it too much money?
Well, but, like, we're so year to year with it instead of maybe having a bigger perspective. Where was Miami fan after year 2 of Mario?
They were out. Where was Alabama fan 4 weeks ago?
Yeah. So, like, it's such an emotional tied sport that, like, we react all the time, and sometimes we go way too far with the reaction, right? But... I don't know. I think that's the difficult thing here. I think you could have a blind spot, and 8 wins is looked at as a disappointment, and Indiana's going to start buzzing nationally to sources, hey, seat's getting warm, man. We're disappointed over here. Or they go, man, this guy's bad year is 8-4.
That used to be the best year in the history of Indiana football.
And also, let's be fair, nothing is impossible, and there's a year where maybe he doesn't even go bowling because he suffers injuries. I don't know how it's going to go.
Or the Big Ten schedule's tough for them that year.
When you're in a conference like the Big Ten or the SEC, man, like Vanderbilt's going through this. If Vanderbilt finishes with a 9-3 year, should they extend Clark Lee or should they just keep going?
Yes.
Nah, man, we'll keep you on your deal and make you earn more. And every other university is going to go, yo, Clark, they're not paying you right, dude.
What happened when James Franklin walked to Penn State? What did Vanderbilt football do after that?
It cratered.
They went back into being Vanderbilt football.
I don't know. Maybe Indiana has figured something out internally here. We also can't fool ourselves. A lot of this is Curt Cignetti. It's his culture building. He did it at other universities at lower levels. So I get it. I guess from a money standpoint, we do give these universities a lot of grief when they mismanage their money so grossly. Jimbo Fisher's one of those examples. James Franklin now, and private equity is being brought up. But I also, I'm a realist. The sport right now is, they won't pay you? We'll pay you.
Yeah.
And so, like, Indiana's kind of strong-armed to say, we've never been this relevant. We've never mattered. And this guy's the one doing it. Whether you lose your assistants and your quarterback, you're going to have to replace him. Okay, we don't trust the guy to make those replacements. We questioned Fernando Mendoza a little bit. Might be a top 5, 10 pick. Okay, well, he's going to lose his coordinator, Sprague. You didn't know who those guys were before you hired them.
Couldn't even tell you their names.
So, we've said this about Lanning, too. Yeah. He's been able to kind of overcome some of that.
Kenny Dillingham left to be a head coach, and who did he go
find?
Now
it's Will Stein, and who else is he going to do it? Yeah. I don't know. I'll just trust him to do it.
Knows what he's doing.
No, I get it, but if I was an Indiana fan, I'd also be ecstatic that he's not leaving me for Penn State.
This is the first time you've had hope your entire life.
I told you this yesterday, and I'll tell that listener. If I would have told you 4 years ago that there was going to be a football coach that told Penn State no because he wanted to stay at Indiana, you wouldn't have believed me.
No.
You just wouldn't have. So It's pretty remarkable.
It's also in an era where they're getting a full Big Ten media share, which is a massive amount of money every year. And they are, they can afford it. And I guess the biggest difference for me, because I certainly understand that there are examples of this, of guys who have been a flash in the pan and it not work out long-term because of the infrastructure at the school. I gave the stat earlier in the week, and I think it's an important one. of just the football operating budgets for Penn State and Indiana for the year of 2024. Penn State's was $64 million for the year, and Indiana's was $61 million for the year. So they're spending money. We're in the era of revenue sharing. They are now an attractive place for guys in the transfer portal. Are they going to have better recruiting classes to Bloomington, Indiana than Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, and Miami? No, of course they're not. But that's not what they've built the last two teams on. And so there will be ebbs and flows with this. I guess the biggest difference in all of this for me is simply put, I don't think there's psychotic expectations at Indiana the way there are at some of these other places. Jimbo Fisher, to me, is a terrible example because he was the guy that got $100 million guaranteed to get that job. He was fat and happy when he got it, and he had 1 year in the COVID year where he went 9-1. Every other year other than that in his career, he was not good and did not meet expectations, right? Mel Tucker was a 1-year thing. He didn't back it up for another year. And so they got caught in the trap of giving him a massive, massive extension after 1 year.
Well, some are making the same argument that even though the season's not complete and they're sitting in a good spot, you
they're going to
technically only have 1 year. Well, I don't know.
They're going to be undefeated.
Even if they trip up once.
I just don't think
they're still going.
Yes,
largely they're still going to a playoff.
Yeah, to me, the difference is that most of these examples, and honestly, for Mel Tucker, too, like use him, he ended up getting fired. Now, the year after wasn't great. He got fired for personal conduct reasons.
Yeah, that
was... So I don't know where the program would have gone under Michigan. I don't know where they would have gone in 2023 or 2024. He was a decent recruiter. I don't know how it would have worked out for them. That was an off-the-field thing that led to the demise of him that they were looking for because he did go 5-7 and they were frustrated by it.
Wasn't Jimbo's last year at Florida State 6-6?
Jimbo's last year at Florida State was 6-4, and then he got fired. He got fired in the middle. They're 10 games into the season.
So there you go.
So he was 6-4. The year before that, he was 5-7. The year before that, he was 8-4. He had the 9-1 COVID year. He was 8-5, 9-4. That was his record.
And then
at Texas
Willie
A&M.
T was after him, right?
Willie T
after Jimbo. Who was after Jimbo?
At Florida State?
Yes.
I think it was that Willie Taggart?
I'm blanking. But my point is this.
I think it was.
Look at where that program went.
Oh, you're talking about Jimbo. Sorry, I thought you meant at A&M. But Florida State, his last year was 5-6, and he got fired. Yeah.
5-6.
Yeah.
And he got fired.
Then they went with an interim Odell Haggins before Taggart.
And then Taggart
was
took
the
over
next
the next
full-time
year.
guy, right? So, this is kind of we're also proving, it's not that he can't be Jimbo.
I'm not saying,
I also find it funny we only highlight the bad ones.
Right.
We don't talk about the good ones.
Guys getting locked up early and going on to have continued success at their school.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not.
We always play the fear part instead of
How
it's
could this
actually
ever work
worked
out
out
for
with
you?
a lot of other ones.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to sit here and argue that I'd take him over, insert all these different coaches. Like people saying he's not better than Sark or he's not better than Lanning or he's not the recruiting profile is different at Indiana than it is at other places.
You think Texas should be he should be recruiting at the level of Texas?
Right, that's just not a realistic expectation at Indiana, and so
just because he's currently the third highest paid doesn't mean he is the third best coach.
No,
and
that will
all
evolve.
of this stuff changes every other year anyway.
A lot of these other coaches will point to this and use this as a reason to get a pay raise, and they will move above him, similar to quarterback contracts, and then we'll say, hey, he's not the third highest paid coach. Now he's the seventh highest paid coach. Is that fair?
Well, use your guy, right? Like, I'm high on Dan Lanning. How is anybody not if you have a brain? But what if Dan Lanning and Oregon don't win the Big Ten title, but they win a playoff game, but then they don't win the title? And every year he's basically gotten an extension. What if he's now the third highest next year? Are we all going to question that?
I certainly wouldn't.
But what does he want?
What does he want?
You know what I mean? Like there's going to be.
Why would you do this?
So it's so year to year, and it's so reactionary. It's a lot of money. There's no doubt. We crossed that threshold a long time ago, though, man. That they fall over themselves all the time, and sometimes they make bad decisions. There's times where guys make good decisions of who to pay.
We'll see how it works out for him. I tend to think that this one, Indiana is so unique that I have no problem paying Curt Cignetti whatever he wants
Is
to make.
8 years too long? I would look more at the years than the pay.
Yeah, maybe, but if he wants to retire, he retires. So he's 64 years old, right?
He also doesn't strike me as I'm looking for the payday and that's my deal. Like he's psychotic. Have you watched him talk?
Yeah.
Jimbo's always a character.
Well, and also
he just stares at you sideways and is just like, I know how to coach football. And you're like, okay, yeah, you do.
The Jimbo Fisher A&M example is just a terrible one because they gave him so much money up front that he never had this, he just didn't care. He wanted to go there for medical reasons for his kids, and
they
he got
just
paid
guaranteed $93 million.
an insane amount of. I get it, but he's also he's earned the money. That's to me the difference. Jimbo won a national title. I don't disagree with that, but that was also years before he took the A&M job, and things ended poorly at Florida State, and they were desperate for a big name coach, and it didn't work out necessarily. Like Cignetti, I don't question his work ethic or his ability to maintain this. Are they going to win a title every year or go to the playoff every year? I have no idea. But if your low water mark now in Indiana's like 7-5, 8-4, dude, just spend 10 minutes scrolling the list of Indiana football seasons.
It's depressing.
And how ugly that program has been forever.
Yeah.
And he has upped them to a new profile, and I don't have any issue with it. I don't have the fear-mongering thought. We'll see how it works out years down the road. Let's get to a team. There's already a cautionary tale of when this happens and then you travel. How does it look? Does it exist for another team? And what are we looking for out of them this weekend? We'll dive into that next. 105.1 FM, The Fan.
Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
All right, welcome back in 821. A couple weeks ago, we saw a team lose a brutal home game in a top 10 matchup and then have to go on the road 3,000 miles away. And it did not end well for them.
Who beat that team?
UCLA beat that team. Oregon beat them the first time, and then UCLA beat them the second time.
There you go.
And then Northwestern beat them the third time.
Well, yeah.
And then they fired the right coach. No, that's something that's been, sticking in my mind this week. I think when you lose a game, you question everything, right? Why do I even do this? Why do I get so emotionally involved in all this? For all the pain and the heartbreak, I quit. I don't want to be a fan.
Your emotions are tied to 18 and 22
They are
year-olds.
every year. Why do I let them dictate my happiness in life? I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to solve that with a therapist someday. But for now, I'm terrified of Rutgers. Oregon is going on the road 3,000 miles away to play in Piscataway, New Jersey. And it's a game that at the start of the year, I mentioned this earlier in the week, you kind of look through the schedule of like, oh, that'll be a fun week. That'll be a good game. We'll have some juice that week. And you go into it thinking, Rutgers, get out of here. I want nothing to do with that game. It's dumb that they're even in the Big Ten. This is ridiculous.
Oregon or Rutgers? Because
kind of both. Kind of both.
Geographically makes a little more sense than Oregon, but
sure.
Yeah.
Success-wise, it doesn't. But
no, it doesn't.
They got TV households, right? How about that TV market in Piscataway, New Jersey? I'm sure everybody in New York will be glued to this game this weekend, just like they are in the Bay Area for Stanford and Cal. But now all of a sudden it's a game where you're like, man, what are you going to look like? We have no idea how a group of young kids are going to bounce back from pain and an emotional loss, and now everybody's kind of counting. Do you crater? Do you come out and open up a can of whoop-ass? Is it ugly early, but then you get it going late? I expect them to win tomorrow, but I think it has added a ton of intrigue for a game of how does Oregon look and how many questions can they, I guess quiet would be the phrase, in a performance tomorrow night.
So this is funny because I think SVP did some of his picks for this weekend.
Okay.
He loves Rutgers plus 17.5.
Yeah, dude, you're flying 3,000 miles away after tough emotional loss at home.
Well, so
the theory in your head, you're like, oh, they got to go kill him, right? That's not the way that this usually works.
Well, no. I mean, there's certainly moments where you don't look perfect, and score-wise, it's not the most amazing thing. We saw that in Northwestern, right?
Yeah.
And Northwestern isn't amazing, but they don't have the greatest, most rabid fan base. But it's still a road trip, and it was a big noon game, and so it's never easy to get up for those. I guess I would kind of counter with what you're saying and ask you this. Is there a score that leaves you overly concerned? Is it just the threat of actually losing a second straight game, and maybe we're dismissing the idea of it? Because last week, and I understand these are very different things and situations, Rutgers was up 10-0 at Washington. They lost 38-19.
Yeah, they've been a terrible team in the second half.
That's
Their defense
a
has been atrocious in the second half.
38-9 response after being down 2 scores at home. Now, you're at home. That's not Rutgers. But I kind of just look at this and I say, I understand some of the fears or questions that Duck fans have. And Rutgers has got a good coach. But almost all their metrics are suggesting Duck should be able to really kind of show their weaknesses pretty loudly on this. I don't know if it's going to start off great, but I kind of look at this and I picked Oregon to cover the spread. That is a lot of points, but I am kind of expecting that kind of performance from Oregon, especially if they are where Pate still considers them a national title contender.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the thought of, oh my God, they're going to go lose back-to-back games, although I think college football has taught us the last handful of weeks that you shouldn't rule anything out. We have no clue what's going to happen. If I would have said to you 2 weeks ago, hey, Penn State's going to follow up that loss to Oregon by losing to UCLA and being down by, you would never believe me, right? Now that's a unique example of they fired a coach and they got a new play caller and they got their mojo going, and they've clearly proven that this is not a fluke, that they're now a more competent football team than they were the first 4 weeks of the year. But for the first month of the season, they didn't even hold a lead in a game. And then they led the entire game against Penn State. So it's just one of those where you just never quite know.
But it's not 12 years built up into an Indiana game that you lost. And that's the big difference here is they still internally, I was listening to Benson yesterday on the Duck Insider Show. And he was talking about leadership and how Poncho is kind of one of the bigger leaders for their team. Not just physically. But he just said, internally, you don't want to lose. But yeah, man, it woke them up. Now, he can say that.
Those are words in a press conference. Do you see it on the field tomorrow?
That's what I'm fascinated to see. Yeah. And Pate talked about that with us yesterday as well. I tend to think that they will. But given the Penn State stuff and given how at times it just looks so inept, I guess blame a lot of the fan base for being kind of nervous about this one or not knowing what to fully expect.
Here a couple of notes to keep an eye on for this game. And we'll get to some other notes in the college football weekend coming up in a bit. But I went back and rewatched their game against Washington yesterday while I was working out, and they throw a lot of jump balls. Like, this is an offense that'll push the ball down the field, and they got tall wide receivers. They got, a 6'3", a 6'6" wide receiver on the outside.
Yeah.
I think their first touchdown of the game was a jump ball in the end zone. So they'll test your secondary in that regard. In those, like, jump ball, contested throws, goal line fade kind of situations, one of their wide receivers, Ian Strong, he's the one that's 6'3", he's 12 of 19, and KJ Duff is the other one. He's 11 of 18 in those throws. So they're completing a good chunk of those when they're trying 50-50 throws. So that's been one of the calling cards of Oregon's secondary now, is they're taller and they're longer, and Finney's been a great story this year. But the other corner spot's been a bit of a question mark, and it was exposed by Surratt. And so that's something that I would circle on the defensive side. But to your larger point about not necessarily maybe being fearful of this happening again, the biggest reason for that is, simply put, that they're not good defensively in any way, shape, or form, and especially when you look at their second half defensive metrics. And I mentioned it on the show yesterday. Like, right now in total defense in the Big 12, they're dead last in yards per game, giving up nearly 400 yards, and that's including non-conference games where they played nobody. Their pass defense in the conference, dead last, giving up 250 yards per game, and their rushing defense, I had this one open, is 14th in the conference.
Yeah, not good.
So it's just like they are in the bottom tier of literally every defensive statistic that exists. And that's where the main thing that I'm keeping an eye on tomorrow is gaining confidence and momentum as an offense. This is an offense that started the year, albeit against inferior opponents, just torching them and lighting them up. I mean, you go back to the Oklahoma State game, and it was like first play of the game, touchdown, third play of the game, touchdown. It just was constant barrage of points and deep shots and making plays and blocking downfield. And they've gotten into Big Ten play, and it's gotten bogged down a little bit. They weren't perfect against Northwestern, not killing them for it, but it wasn't perfect. You go on the road to Penn State, very difficult environment. It's 3 points in the first half. Took you a while to score those first touchdown drives. Had a lot of underneath plays, a lot of fourth down conversions to keep stuff alive. And then this past week, you weren't terrible in the first half by any stretch. I actually saw somebody had a graphic of the halftime stats, and it was funny to go back and remember that Oregon led in almost every category at halftime. Yards, passing yards, rushing yards, first down, third down conversions. Go up and down the list. They led in every category. You had 200 yards of offense in the first half. And in the second half, you were somehow held to 60, and you got completely bogged down, and you turned the ball over a couple times. And so that's like, of all the things to keep an eye on for tomorrow's game, your offense should not struggle against Rutgers' defense. How do you find a way to get your mojo and your momentum back, carry it into Wisconsin, go into the bye week, and then be set up for a good run in November?
Well, and see, I look at the other side of the ball, too, and I go, defensive line, they put some pressure. They pushed him out to the edges, but for the most part, did not have quite the impact. They finished 1 sack last weekend.
1 sack, yeah.
I kind of look at that side a little bit more, and I think what you're saying is 100% accurate and fair. Defensively, though, like I would venture to guess most Duck fans think their defense is better than Washington's.
Yeah.
Kind of dominated the game after that weird start.
After the start.
To it. So
and some of that was short fields, too, for Washington's defense, where they were punting and they were getting at the 50.
So I think if Washington can do that, Oregon should have an expectation they can do that. Now, on the offensive side, I'll say this, because I don't have many numbers to give you. I would just kind of say this. Mm-hmm. In a weird way, despite not having a marquee win by a ranked metric, right, because Penn State's fallen off, in a weird way, you're not abandoning hope, but their offense has kind of been doing what people were concerned about. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, there's obviously some really good moments. You 69 to Cowboy and you bludgeon the Beavers. Like, you had some moments. But what you talk about in the Big Ten play, you lose to Indiana, you score 1 offensive touchdown. It looks clunky for a large portion of the Northwestern game. I think it's fair to kind of say a lot of what we, the proverbial media, brought up of like, is this that? And then what is this going to be? Like, there's been, Decorian has looked good, but not really doing as much in the last game, right?
They just didn't involve him or Sadiq at all in the first half. No targets in the first half and had like 2 catches on the game.
Hey, man, Deere Hill, he's the number one. He's too obvious now. Now it's Davison. Like, they haven't quite stapled the number 1 back down. It's more of just a consistent rotation.
They don't have an identity right now
and
on
that's,
offense.
That's
They're
kind of what I'm
trying
saying,
to find
right?
it
like,
at this point in the year.
For all the questions that we in the media had about Oregon, and even fans too, like, some of the questions are pretty valid ones right now. And can you respond and show that you're getting past what your loss was? Because the inconsistencies we spoke of potentially happening have kind of showed themselves.
Yeah, somebody texted in, the Ducks are going to win. Come on, you're giving swag bleep for playing down the Dodgers. Look, I would be shocked if Oregon lost this game to Rutgers. I'm just saying, what does it look like? Is it a one-score game? Is it uncomfortable? The idea that you're going to fly 3,000 miles after a heartbreaking loss at home, when they have an extra day, by the way, to prepare for you, you're going into an environment that's going to be their Super Bowl, Oregon at Rutgers. Like, those fans are going to be jacked for this game. I guarantee it. It's a night game, too, on top of it. Like, that you're just going to go in there and be up 38-0 at the half. Like, hey, if you are, I will sit down at halftime and say, oh, my God, thank you for an easy, comfortable win, and now I can just relax the rest of the game and not have to care, and let's see how many depth pieces we get in. But
a one-score win is going to have you very, damn it.
Yeah, what's
even
going on
here?
Even though you
win, it's like,
even though
okay.
you win. Like, I remember doing this last year to the Purdue game, and it wasn't perfect for them, but I remember having that same thought of, you just beat Ohio State, now you're going on the road, Purdue sucks, you're playing on a short week, and it's going to be a big game for them, and I think this Rutgers team is better than the Purdue team that they played last year, but you just never know how teams are going to respond. And so all I'm arguing is a lot of intrigue in that game tomorrow. I think the defensive stuff you bring up is valid, getting after the quarterback, finding that momentum again on offense, finding it a bit of an identity. I want to see him run the football a ton. So there was a lot. Not a lot to look at for the Rutgers game at the start of the year. Now we're here, and it's like, man, I'm pretty excited for that game tomorrow night, 3:30. And you could hear it right here on the Fans. I'm going to be live at Grand Central Bowl tomorrow.
I heard about that.
You know who else is going to be there?
Who?
Live in the flesh.
Oh.
Well, one, Anthony Newman will be there, of course.
Yeah.
The mayor of Eugene.
Yeah.
You can come get your autograph. Anthony Newman will sign autographs.
High school football legend.
High school football legend, Anthony Newman. You know who else is going to be there?
Who?
Casey.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
He'll be hanging out.
Teddy Ballgame?
I'll be here.
I don't know. Maybe Teddy Ballgame will make a debut. We'll see. TBD. See how the morning goes. Does he sleep? Does he want to go bowl? Is it nap time?
If this thing is 6-3 at halftime,
TBD.
your panic meter.
Don't say anything. I don't. We know the powers you have right now.
I know it's dangerous.
Shut up.
I didn't believe it until I saw it yesterday.
Exactly. You don't think it's real, do you, Casey? And then it hits your team, and you think, you know what? You don't open your mouth again. You know what you do? You shut up over there. Okay. All right. Oregon to Rutgers, 3:30. We talked about a prove-it week in the NFL. How about a prove-it week in college football? I want to dive into some of that. We can read some of your thoughts as well. We're back after this. First, here's Casey with SportsCenter.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Joe Flacco and the Bengals took down the Steelers in a high-scoring Thursday night football affair, snapping a 4-game losing streak for Cincinnati. Recently acquired QB Joe Flacco threw for 3 touchdowns, airing it out for 342 yards in Cincinnati's 33-31 victory Thursday night. Flacco has also tied Tom Brady for the most wins against Pittsburgh since 1950. The Indiana Hoosiers have reached an agreement with head football coach Curt Cignetti, making him one of the highest-paid coaches in the FBS, signing a new 8-year, $93 million contract. Over to the Diamond as Toronto ties the series back at 2 games apiece in the ALCS. The Mariners were able to get out to an early lead, but George Springer and the Blue Jay Bats came alive once more as Toronto took back Game 4 8-2. Seattle will host the Blue Jays today just after 3 p.m. And the Dodgers hope to wrap up the NLCS sweep today after their 3-1 victory in Game 4. The Dodgers will start Shohei Ohtani on the bump as Pat Murphy's Brewers will once again go to the bullpen for Game 5. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on YouTube and Twitch. And now Window Nation brings you on-demand videos. Watch Window Nation's Window into the Fan.
How about a window in retirement, man? My God, there's a lot going on right now, right? We're a little unsure of things.
and 1080 AM.
All right, keep your fake sponsors rolling in. 503-864-6326. That is the fan text line.
Did you see the latest Pablo Torre?
I did. The hot mic audio.
Belichick and Hudson did a breakdown of something, and the film came out, and there's hot mics, and Jordan Hudson, I guess, is caught on the mic trying to contribute to the football conversation as if she is also coached for...
I mean, she knows what she's doing.
Her whole life.
I want to know what she has to say about North Carolina football.
She's basically talking about teams not being able to do S. Like I want to see if I can pull audio, but she's like, yeah, they can't even scheme against this.
Do you know before yesterday who was making more money than Kurt Cignetti this year?
Jordan Hudson.
Bill Belichick.
Well,
he has a $10 million deal to be the head coach in North Carolina. Kurt Cignetti was making $8 million.
Also Jordan Hudson.
Also Jordan Hudson.
What's Belichick worth? She's getting half.
She's getting half of that. So technically, maybe they both were making less than him because they were both making $5 million when they had eventually split all the money. Yeah, I just, I'm excited for the game tomorrow. Excited to see what it looks like. Some thoughts that came in. Somebody said they kept going away from the run this past weekend. I think that gets to your point about the identity. Now, to be fair on what Lanning said earlier in the week, when they only ran, 20-something plays in this. I mean, it was like 3 and outs, not long drives, so you didn't really have the opportunity to sustain the drives and get the run game going the way that maybe they wanted to. But I do think it was a lesson for them of like, when something is working, hammer it home. When something is functioning at a high level, like running in between the tackles was for them on Saturday, don't go away from it. Don't run off don't run off tackle. Don't run outside. Don't try and throw the ball on first down. If you have the ability to move the line of scrimmage, just come out and pound the rock. And so that to me, I think on your identity question is what I'm very curious of tomorrow is what does the play calling look like early? How aggressive are they? Do they try and get Dante Moore going and kind of settle him into the game? Is it a thought process of we're going to run the ball down your throat until you prove that you can stop it? Very interesting to see how that all looks tomorrow. And an interesting game for Oregon. On the road at Rutgers. Some other games around the country that I want to start diving into. And we'll get into some more of them coming up next because you used the argument of a prove it weekend in college football.
No, the NFL.
Or the NFL, excuse me. And I'm going to do the same thing for college football because I think there's a number of games, and I'm going to throw some point spreads at you that might make you turn your head and say, wait, what? And we had these last week. Like this for a lot of people last week was Texas-Oklahoma. Texas was favored in that game over Oklahoma coming off a loss to Florida. Mateer was back for Oklahoma, and everybody said, how's Texas favored over Oklahoma? There's a couple of those out there this weekend that might shake up the playoff picture and a prove it weekend for a lot of teams around the country. I'm going to start diving into that next on 105.1 FM The Fan.
The Oregon Ducks have hit FM and 1080 AM.
All right, I've locked my Sprague and the Line picks in. Final answers, 9:30. I'll deliver them. How many L's this week? Probably 3, but we'll give them to you at 9:30 nonetheless.
Yeah, I had a rough weekend last week.
It was a tough one. Tough one. Every week for me has been tough this week. I think I was 2-1 in the first week, and it's been nothing but ills ever since then. So we'll see if we can get off the schneid. I wanted to read one thought, and I will answer your question here in a moment. Where did this go? Oh, any good games tonight? I got no kids or wife for the evening. First off, you poor bastard. No kid, no wife for Friday night. How will you survive? I don't know. I don't know how you're going to make it through.
Might fall asleep early. Being by yourself too much, you know what you're doing.
You do have 2 games to watch tonight. Can I entertain you on some Friday night action? 4 o'clock on ESPN. Miami hosting Louisville.
Can I just tell you?
Sure. Fire away.
I end up watching.
Yeah.
I am kind of, the older I get and the more like my kids are getting older.
Give me a take. Anti-Friday college football?
Yeah, I'm kind of it's hard for me to I don't get up for Friday college football the way I do.
Oregon's got a Friday game in a couple of weeks.
Oregon State had the Houston game, and I'm just like, lost my Friday to this. So
It's not a bad take. It's not a bad take for sure. The benefit I like of it is simply that some of these games that sit on Friday nights, I would not get to watch all of, and if it's teams I'm curious to see how they look. Like if you're in the jumble on a Saturday afternoon, if Miami Louisville is at 12:30 tomorrow, like you're keeping an eye on it, and maybe it's in a quad box for you. But you're not watching long stretches of that game by itself, unless it's like, oh, my God, Louisville's up by 14 in the first half. Is Miami going to pee down their leg at home?
So to that listener saying my kids and my wife are gone tonight, how will I ever live?
You got a glorious day, dude. You got college football games. You got baseball playoff games.
Now, see, look, if you're not a Mariner fan, I'm going to counter even more. I'm out completely, and I'm going to watch the new Keanu Reeves, Seth Rogen movie, Fortune.
You're just putting on a Friday night of football and baseball?
It's a good comedy written by Aziz Ansari. Yeah, I'm going to go see that movie.
You also have Nebraska, Minnesota, catch the fever, row the boat tonight, 7.5-point spread, 5 o'clock kick on Fox.
Dude, I told you about PJ Fleck, and I still want to get him on the show when they play Oregon that week.
Love PJ Fleck.
I hate watching that team.
They're terrible to watch.
I mean,
they're coming to Eugene that's the Friday night opponent in a couple of weeks. Catch the fever.
I know. I have family in town going to that game.
The Gophers will be here, ready to row the boat. I gave a couple of stats yesterday, one of the more exciting games of the weekend. And, look, I'm high on this team. So there's some pressure in the dirty poll on this one that we're keeping an eye on going into it. The Vanderbilt is hosting LSU.
Mm-hmm.
And it is remarkable. 2 things. One, Vanderbilt has played 77 games against top 10 teams since 1978. This is the first time they've been favored in one of those games.
Truly a remarkable stat.
They are a 2.5-point favorite over LSU this weekend. Again, this is the first time that they have been favored against LSU since 1948. They have been, and this is not a misprint, Vanderbilt football has been an underdog in 51 consecutive conference games. 51 consecutive Kentucky, Mississippi State.
Who was the last one they were favored?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that stat. Maybe
how do you give that stat?
I just am reading the stat.
No, I know, but how do you not post the stat?
They need to be a follow-up stat. Yeah, that came from Hunter McCann. I think he covers LSU football, or he's down in somewhere in Louisiana. He got the number. So 51 games. You have to go see whatever their 52 games SEC games ago who they played. I wonder if they won. So it's just remarkable. That game. It's at 9 a.m. on ABC. They're a favorite at home. I'm sure that crowd's going to be rocking. LSU has looked super vulnerable offensively. Nussmeier's thrown some picks. Hasn't had a great start to the year. Vanderbilt ready to bounce back from a tough loss to Alabama. I'm very excited for that one early. Can I throw the surprising point spread at you, and do we get a shakeup in this conference? 9 a.m. game on ESPN. Georgia Tech and Duke. You know who's favored in the game?
Duke
is favored in the game
Yeah.
against undefeated top 12 ranked Georgia Tech. Now, why? And my Brian Windhorst fingers. Now, why is that?
Because Georgia Tech almost lost to Wake Forest? I mean, I'm not going to act like Georgia
Don't you bring
Tech is
logic into
unbeatable.
this. Don't you bring logic into this.
Well, it's
okay?
not like they're
Duke's undefeated, by the way, in
I
the
know.
ACC. So if they win this game, we all kind of thought Georgia Tech, Miami are on a collision course of the ACC title. If Duke wins this game, they got the tiebreaker with them. Their only losses came in non-conference to Tulane and Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's 9. I counted 9 of the top 25 teams are undefeated. How many will we finish with?
I would not be in the regular season or this weekend.
In the regular season.
The only one that I feel super confident in,
See, I don't know if I can go there. Oh yeah, we're so conditioned now to see even the most random things.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. The only ones I'd be willing to bet on at this point are Texas Tech, Indiana, and Ohio State. Those are the only ones that I'd be willing to put some money on them being undefeated. Indiana probably more so than Ohio State, because Ohio State's got that Michigan thing in the back of their mind, and they got to go to Ann Arbor at the end of the year. And I don't know if it matters how good or bad Michigan is, because clearly it didn't last year. They were terrible, and they couldn't throw the ball, and they still won the game.
Gotcha.
Look at Indiana. I mean, the rest of Indiana's schedule, they will legitimately be favored by 3 touchdowns in every game.
That doesn't mean they win.
It does not mean that they win every game.
Like
There's
Penn
no doubt.
State, I know they lost Aller. And this is going to be the funny part. When the backup quarterback starts slanging the rock, and you're like, oh.
That would be really funny.
They have a passing attack now. Yeah. And now they fire their coach, so maybe some of those guys who I still haven't seen jump in the portal, maybe they're just like, all right, here we go, man. We feel a little, breathe a little bit.
Yeah, we got nothing to lose now. We lost 3 in a row. We're not playing for anything. So we might as well cut it loose.
If they're checked in and they're looking to disrupt, they have a talent profile that can beat Indiana.
There is no doubt about it.
So I'm kind of curious about like how many of the 9 current undefeateds in the top 25 are going to fully be able to capitalize on it. BYU is another team.
They got Utah this weekend. You got the Holy War this weekend.
Yeah, BYU probably should have lost to Colorado a couple weeks ago. They came back in that game, and they played a great second half. Like, Holy War can get them.
Yeah.
Whittingham, quietly, by the way, they got back into the top 25.
They did. After getting humbled at home, they've done nothing but win.
And that's the thing is Texas Tech just right now of ASU, BYU, Utah, Tech just looks like the wagon of that conference.
That's the one reason why they're a team that I'd be willing to gamble on to do it, because I just think line of scrimmage play is so much different from them for the guys that they brought in the offseason. And then you look at the rest of the landmines that exist for them. Like, they're playing Arizona State on the road. It's a 1 o'clock game on Fox
See, there's
tomorrow.
A landmine.
That could be. Sam Levitt might not play.
Yeah.
And have you watched Jeff Sims play football? Because he sucks.
Okay.
So they literally they will lose that game by 80 points if Jeff Sims is their quarterback.
Yeah, they play BYU. They're at West Virginia. They're at Kansas State.
Yeah.
Like, these teams aren't amazing, but that's the sport in itself. Just
If Levitt is available and healthy and can move around, maybe you give that one a little credence tomorrow. But I know I've seen some stuff from Dillingham this weekend that he's a game time decision, and they're not 100% certain if he's going to be able to play. And so if he's out, Jeff Sims is so bad, and he's been so bad for so long. They don't really have any other options. He's kind of all they got, and they got bludgeoned by Utah for anybody who stayed up and watched that game with him as their backup quarterback.
Yeah, second year for Dillingham after the playoff.
It's hard to go do it again, especially when your quarterback's hurt. Like, that's the other whammy for them. They lost that game at Mississippi State early, which was a tough one for them to lose, and then the second loss that they have is because they're playing with a backup quarterback. Some of the other prove-its this weekend that I circle, Oklahoma on the road at South Carolina is an easily losable game for Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And you drop back-to-back, and Venables goes from darling, oh my God, this is a great story, to hey, now we're 5-2 and look at the rest of our schedule. Are we going to finish 7-5 this year, and do I get fired? Like, that's how quickly things can escalate at Oklahoma. If they went on the road at South Carolina this weekend, hey, more power to them. You're 6-1. You calm some of the nerves and the fears, but that is absolutely a losable game for them.
Well, I think the tough thing for me last week was watching Mateer play.
Yeah.
Because he looked like a guy that shouldn't have been playing.
No, he threw some bad picks.
I think that kind of, to me, reeked of, I know he wants to play, but it reeked to me on the coaching staff of desperation.
Yeah.
We don't trust the backup situation to be able to beat Texas, who was struggling. This is certainly the game that, like, if you follow this up again and play poorly, I think people are going to start penciling in 4 losses for you.
Without
and you go
a
from the
doubt.
darling playoff sleeper team who might do it, and Venables is the Oklahoma guy who figured out how to get back on that horse, to this is your best year?
This is what's happening now?
I know they went, 10-2 with Dillon, but
yeah,
post the Dylan Gabriel thing, it was really bad last year.
With your transfer quarterback, and you got Mateer, who
You
might
got
be the number one
OC,
pick.
Like,
Yeah.
you stole the quarterback and the OC, and here you are again. Like, you can't quite get over that.
Let's continue this theme with the Prove It weekend for a couple of teams. Which stock are we buying more of right now for the rest of the season? Also, a funny picture that was released yesterday that we can talk about. We'll start the final hour there. We'll get back into the Mariners. Pivotal Game 5 up in Safeco tonight. Nobody gives a rat's ass about the NLCS because that's over. Thanks for ruining baseball, Dodgers. And we'll Sprague the line at 9:30. Get your fake sponsors in. 503-864-6326. Loaded final hour on a Football Friday next. 105.1 FM The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Joe Flacco and the Bengals took down the Steelers in a high-scoring Thursday night football affair, snapping a 4-game losing streak for the Bengals. Recently acquired QB Joe Flacco threw for 3 touchdowns, airing it out for 342 yards in Cincinnati's 33-31 victory Thursday night. Flacco has also tied Tom Brady for the most wins against Pittsburgh since 1950. The Indiana Hoosiers have reached an agreement with head football coach Curt Cignetti, making him one of the highest paid coaches in the FBS, signing a new 8-year, $93 million contract. Over to the Diamond as Toronto ties the series back at 2 games apiece in the ALCS. The Mariners were able to get out to an early lead, but George Springer and the Blue Jay Bats came alive once more as Toronto took back Game 4 8-2. Seattle will host the Blue Jays today just after 3 p.m. And the Dodgers hope to wrap up the NLCS sweep today after their 3-1 victory in Game 4. The Dodgers will start Shohei Ohtani on the bump as Pat Murphy's Brewers will once again go to the bullpen for Game 5. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of Dirt and Sprague. Weekday morning 6 to 10 a.m. The Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 a.m. Portland's favorite morning roast.
Who was the second hottest Golden Girl? Oh, you want to rank the hot Golden Girls?
It's time for your Sunrise Guys.
If Blanche is number 1, was she the first TV cougar? Ooh.
Andy Dirt Johnson, Brandon Sprague.
You're going to say Estelle. You're going to surprise me, and I'm not going to judge you for it. Estelle seems like she was probably wild.
Dirt and Sprague on Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 The Fan.
Hey, let's do this. Final hour. Dirt and Sprague here. Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody. We call that the Fan Sports Network. I hope your football Fridays are going great. If you're a Mariner fan, yes, my co-host is here, and your Sprague in the Line sponsors are welcome. 503-864-6326. Chime them in. We'll do some gambling coming up at the bottom of the hour.
I had to avoid 2 disgusting things yesterday.
Oh.
I had to run around a little bit, and in doing so, I was offered a glass of squash milk.
Squash milk?
Squash milk.
How do you make squash milk?
Great question, and it looked
That's
like a
not
combination of orange juice and eggnog, consistency-wise, but like orange juice with pulp.
There's no way that tastes good.
Didn't try it.
There's no chance.
And then I was also offered a follow-up, because I have a brother-in-law that's like, hey, man, I heard this thing is really good for you. And he'll try it.
Yeah, the latest health trend or the health kick or, yeah.
These
are great for your digestive system.
You want mushroom tea, man? And I'm like, oh. No.
So you're going to get me high as a kite? What's the point?
He offered me almond milk with turmeric in it.
Okay.
Almond milk, turmeric. Which was then followed up, you could chase it with a ginger shot.
What's that supposed to do?
Well, good question, Casey.
Great question, Casey.
It's good for your immune system. It's supposed to help your vision. It'll clear your sinuses.
Oh.
And it's almost like a flu shot.
Sounds like a win-win-win-win-win-win-win-win to me. I would have chugged the entire thing. What's the matter with you?
Do you just have water?
You got like a
He goes, this is healthy. And I go, so is water.
You got a fridge sig in there that I can have? I'd prefer one of those. You got any Diet Cokes laying around? Can I crack one of those bad boys open?
My sister-in-law was reading off benefits of the squash milk that she was trying to get me to drink. And as she's reading it, she goes, and it's antioxidants. And we went,
what?
Antioxidant?
I'm not going to poop my pants?
Do you mean antioxidants? It was OX.
Yeah.
And she said accidents?
I got this battle going on a little bit right now in my house where my wife is on she's on a kick of healthy things when it comes to like doing laundry.
Oh, like
she wants like the chemical-free soap.
My wife is also doing this.
Dude, I don't put my foot down on a lot of stuff.
You want that teddy bear smell, don't you?
The
Snuggie Bear?
The laundry detergent I'm okay with seeding. Like, it's not my favorite. I prefer to have the thick, give me like a lavender scented, it's something good.
That.
I love that stuff. Yeah. The one that I'm not willing to relent on, and we have gone back and forth battles here, is the dryer sheets. She gets these like flimsy dryer sheets that you like pick them out and they like stick to your fingers. They're all clumped together and you got to like take one. Like, no.
You don't do traditional dryer sheets?
We do, yes, because I do the majority of the laundry, and I'm like, no, for my clothes, we're using the heavy duty. I want the one that's going to get rid of the dog hair and make my clothes smell good and not staticky and clingy. And I don't care if there's bad chemicals in there. We are using OG dryer sheets.
Yeah, that dog hair thing is crucial.
I got a dog with black hair, man. That stuff is everywhere. You should see the dryer lint every time we do laundry. It's constant. It's always in there.
Yeah.
And she has tried this, like, well, no, it's better for the kid and the chemicals, and it's good for this. And I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not relenting on this.
Now, here's my follow-up, okay? Because obviously you need to put something in a dryer sheet to make it do what it does.
Yes.
I had never heard of the dryer sheet thing. My wife told me about the chemical in the soap, but not the dryer sheets.
I'm a bounce guy. I'm a bounce guy, and I'll be a bounce guy till the day I die.
No, we have the Kirkland Costco
the
box
knockoff
of dryer
bounce,
sheets,
sure,
which is the same thing,
Same
right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
the dryer sheet thing, I would definitely put my foot down, and I also have a follow-up on this. I think we're way overthinking some of this stuff too much.
You think?
Like, you know what I found odd? I had a conversation with somebody not long ago, and they were eating candy. And then I gave my daughter a red version of the candy and went, oh, the red dye. And I went, you're eating the candy.
You just ate
Do you
a
think
bowl.
that's just...
Snickers is okay?
But the red dye.
You can't have that one.
Did you eat red dye as a kid?
Yeah.
Are you kind of normal now?
I drank water out of the hose, man. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm still standing.
I think people are like naturally just becoming scared of everything. And the minute they're told, like, oh, I don't know this dye, man, you're like, oh, I can't have any version of substance of
I mean,
it. Like,
anything in moderation is fine. You'll be all right.
just don't eat a lot of it.
Don't eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
Try and eat relatively healthy, get exercise from time to time, and unplug from the world, and you'll be okay.
Now, here's the other counter, too, to your household situation. I do most of the cooking.
Mm-hmm.
My wife does her and my daughter's clothes, and I do my own clothes because my laundry load is usually pretty small.
Sure, you get a different load.
You're doing your laundry, and it sounds like you cook.
I mean, I'm Mr. Mom over here, man. I'm doing a lot.
What's the wife steal from you?
The main argument is that's a groove.
Like, who's going to mow your lawn when the grass grows?
She steals my heart, my love.
Are you afraid to?
I mean, I feel like I do a lot. Now, and the counter argument to
Tell
this,
me when you started feeling this way.
Let's get through the problems here. She's great at having those Amazon boxes show up. Just wonderful at that. Just like one of the best on the West Coast, dude. Back-to-back national
You're really
champion.
building some goodwill here.
I love you, honey. No, the counter argument to me would be like, because your wife works from home, right? So she's around the house. Not every day, but she's relatively around the house. Like when my wife works, she's gone for 12 hours.
Yes.
And I'm home at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I have the rest of the day.
Sure.
And so there's that,
You're just being productive.
I'm just here.
Yeah.
What am I going to, hey, babe, you get home at 7:30 tonight. You go put the laundry in. Make me a sandwich while you're at it. I'm a very modern, and I'm here. I'm okay. I can pick up my slack around the house. I also, part of it was my own fault when we started dating was because I lived on my own and was single for so long that I habitually did it. I had to do it every day.
Well, there's nothing wrong with doing what
right.
you're
And
doing.
so, like, when we started dating and she moved in, I just continued doing it the way that I did it because that's the only way I've ever known. And so it just kind of maintained that direction.
I wasn't asking to get you in trouble. I was just generally curious because in my house, we kind of have our own set of things that are like, it's kind of untalked about. And it's like,
you do your role and I do my role, and it's not like a chores list where dad does this and mom does this.
Yeah, but they do. They just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm doing this, this, and this, and she's doing this, that, and this.
She decorates the house for the holidays.
Okay.
So that's happening. She does probably more cleaning than I do.
You don't have to give me the laundry. I was just curious because I was just fascinated by you saying you do all the laundry.
I'm the laundry guy.
Because we break down and we kind of separate the situations there.
If you can't tell by my dryer sheet rant too, I'm also very picky about my clothes being clean. You're you're a germaphobe when it comes to people touching your food and being around your food and like don't sneeze on anything or breathe on anything and I'm not going to eat it, that kind of stuff. Don't touch it. I'm kind of that way weirdly with clothes. Like if I wear a shirt for 3 hours, I put it immediately into the dirty bin.
Oh.
So the majority of the clothes the majority of the clothes in our laundry bin are my clothes because I'm just weird that way. And I've never really been able to know why, but that's just the way that I operate.
Well, I mean, there's nothing better. We think we could all agree on this,
right? The clean clothes, when you put them on, they smell good.
Smell?
It's not...
Oh, man, that smell?
Yeah.
When you're using real stuff and not this chemical-free, earth-friendly,
Yeah, just huffing dryer sheets at this point.
Yeah. You get it?
Yeah.
Do I put 2 in every load? Absolutely,
Dude,
I do.
every single load.
Absolutely.
Have
There's
to.
in there.
You have to.
You're not even doing your laundry right if you're using one dryer sheet.
One's for smell, the other one is to do the actual work.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Casey.
God.
We're on the same page.
You know
here.
who would not have said that? Swag.
Yeah.
He would have had some counter to all of this.
Yeah, I just, the organic, I think Molly Suds, Clean People, there's these once you try and take one out of the box, I'm sure they're great for the environment, but you take one out of the box and I'm like, you know what, this just doesn't have the same gravitas as a bounce. I need a bounce.
The organic thing and the non-organic, I battle this at the grocery store almost daily of I should probably buy organic bananas. And then I read an article and it's like, there really is no difference. They're able to skirt around this rule, or they're able to do this and say we're organic, but really we found that there's no difference in your bananas. Right. And I'm like, cool. I'm glad I paid 25 cents more per pound.
Can I trace this banana back to the organic farm, or are they just putting it on the banana rack? Is there any way to prove that this banana is organic?
Real question, are you guys the type of people who go to self-checkout and swipe it as if you got regular bananas, but in reality you got your organic bananas?
Oh, good question.
No, but I also would be lying if I've said I've never done that.
Well, I mean, Sukanik is talking about stealing a donut every time he grocery shops.
Oh, he snacks a donut, huh?
He says he just goes up, grabs a maple, and walks around because he says he's owed it or something. I will tell you,
I'm spending a lot of money in your store, and that maple
dude,
bar is what, 90 cents? I mean, it's $1. It's
they're like $2.50 now.
Well, that's insane. Maybe that's why I'm stealing the maple bar now. Maybe your donut shouldn't be $2.50.
You're stealing more money actually from the grocery store that way. No, I don't, Casey. I actually I find a little weird, stupid pride in saying this is absolutely organic cilantro. Okay, but I will tell you, I don't know how I'm morally changing or differentiating these things. As much as I might be honest about my bananas, how many bags would you like to purchase? 0. Grabs bag, continues to use, because I don't always bring my own bag. It's 5 cents.
I'm very guilty of that.
I mean, what are we doing?
It's so true.
I'm cool with you getting rid of the plastics.
That's so
I
true.
get that. I'm on the board with that. But something about those 10 cents extra for those bags that I'm like, and then to be honest, I multi-use. I go home and it becomes a recycling basically bin for us until I take the recycling out.
And somebody said the dryer sheets chemicals is a real thing. Make me itch along with my 3 boys. They're terrible. Like, if that's the case, if they made me itch, I wouldn't use them. They don't make me itch. No, I mean, he's got eczema, but it's gotten better as he's gotten older. And I don't wash his clothes with those dryer. We do his laundry separately. And so when he does his, I don't put the chemical stuff in his clothes because it's not good for his skin. But I'm not seeing any sort of evidence that him being, me holding him and his cheek rubbing on my shoulder is causing his cheek to break out and be uncomfortable.
See,
and it doesn't give me any uncomfort. It smells delightful and it gets dog hair out and then your clothes don't stick together. It's the worst feeling in the world is when you use the crappy ones and then you take out a shirt or a pair of pants and you get that staticky feeling when you put them on and they're clinging to your legs.
Hate it.
The absolute worst feeling in the world.
Well, and especially if you have some staticky clothes, the worst place to go is actually Costco. Your hands will get shocked 19 times on those. There's something on their carts. Like routinely you get shocked. Like sensitive skin, you need to be aware of it. I have very bad skin. I also have eczema. But the dryer sheets are kind of like Bane. I was born in it. I was molded by it. My skin is used to it. I want to smell like that Snuggie Bear.
You've built up to this point. Yeah. Now you're ready to go.
I'm immune to it.
Well, I'll probably hear about this one when I get home today. Hey, Washington or USC, who do you trust more? Big games for them this weekend.
Yeah.
At Michigan, at Notre Dame. Let's talk a little bit about that, and then we'll get back into Game 5. Everybody send your hate mail to Brandon Sprague. Well, Sprague Line coming up bottom of the hour. Back after this, 105.1 FM, The Fan.
The Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Nothing gets the people fired up like hot laundry talk. A lot of texts and comments coming in. Somebody said dryer sheets are bad for the environment. Use static balls on YouTube. Next one. Static balls suck. Use dryer sheets. We have static balls too. We got those. I use those for the kiddos' laundry. But look, everybody's got takes. Everybody's got takes on laundry and what the right way to do it is.
I mean, do we not? Can we just be human for a second? Do we not care about the environment, but also kind of battle this all the time of like,
why is this on me? Why am
I'm doing the right thing, but once in a blue moon, I don't do the right thing.
Let's check out what China's doing and then get back to me, all right?
You know.
See what see what India's putting up into the environment. Then get back to me about my dryer sheet.
You're supposed to properly put your batteries here, and there.
Do I once in a while throw in that trash can?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I recycle.
I don't think you do.
I do.
100%? 100% recycler?
100%.
100%?
I keep my cans.
There's never a box or a toilet paper roll that goes into the garbage? Never a single thing?
No. But sometimes those batteries will sit on that counter for a month because I always forget what to do.
I don't know.
I don't want to Google.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm pretty sure about 97% of batteries in my life have gone directly into the garbage
Brother,
can.
I'm
not going to sit here and pretend that I'm a 50-50 split here, okay? It's just way too complicated.
I got paint cans under a section of my house for 2 years because I don't know what to do, and I'm too lazy to take it to where it needs to go.
Those will be there until you sell the house. We're going to sit there.
You're not wrong there.
And then the next owner's problem.
I didn't throw those in the trash.
Every time I buy a new house, it's like, man, there's like 80 paint cans in here, you bastards. Now I got to deal with this.
Yes.
But I did the same thing when I sold my last house. I left all the paint.
What is this?
They want to know what the colors are. Leave them in the garage.
What is this, Home Alone 2?
Yes.
What am I supposed to do with this? Hit burglars in the face?
Big prove it weekend in college football, and especially for two teams on the West Coast. So you got tomorrow morning, early bird special, big nooner.
I'm surprised you're putting one of these teams in this conversation.
Oh, okay. I'm curious which one. So Washington is on the road at Michigan, 9 a.m. on Fox. Michigan favored by 5.5 for the game. We did our big pack picks yesterday.
Okay.
But a 9 a.m. early start time for them, and then the nightcap, well, not fully nightcap, but a later game, 4:30 on NBC, will be USC at Notre Dame. USC is a bigger dog, obviously, at Notre Dame than Washington is at Michigan. Notre Dame is ranked 13th in the country. But a couple of teams who have, Washington should be ranked in the top 25. USC is now ranked in the top 25. Going east, if you will, and both fan bases looking for one of those, like, hey, feather in the cap win from my head coach. Which one is not a prove it weekend for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, Washington loses this game. I don't think you, me, or even a Husky fan's going to be like, oh.
No, I'm not saying you're going to fire the coach or this hot seat stuff.
This is a massive weekend for Lincoln. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not that he hasn't proven things in the past, but you're almost a 10-point dog, which I didn't know this until yesterday.
Yeah, the line in that
game. The firm told me, and I'm like,
9.5. USC is a 9.5-point underdog in South Bend.
Maybe there's an injury we don't know. I do give credit to Notre Dame. They've got talented players, and it's a road game for Lincoln. That's a lot of points.
USC's top running backs are all out, and they're using a walk-on guy, but he torched Michigan last week, and so maybe you're not as concerned about it.
Washington really is like, I think they're kind of living in house money for this week, and maybe you disagree with that, but I think if they win, yeah, you're walking away going, man, this really might be a pretty magical year, too. If they lose, I think you're going to go, it's a big nooner.
Yeah.
At Michigan, desperate Michigan team who just got kind of embarrassed on national television at USC.
Mm-hmm.
Totally see the bounce back spot. I just don't know. I can't quite go there. Even if I have Washington as a 8-9 win team.
I think that's the argument of, like, if they lose this game, it doesn't mean Jed Fish is on a hot seat or that it's a failure or that it's a none of that matters. But I think in terms of proving it, it's more about, like, can Washington really be one of those teams down the stretch that's going to make some noise? Or are they going to be a team that stays in the mix? They were a trendy playoff pick in August that kind of went out of the window when they lost the way that they did to Ohio State. But if they win this game, the rest of Washington's schedule,
well, it's not as easy now at the back end, but they have Illinois at home, at Wisconsin, and Purdue at home.
Those are very winnable games before you play UCLA on the road and then Oregon, obviously, at home.
So if you lose, you're 5-2. And
I think that's the point of
your business. You can be 8-2 going into UCLA and Oregon, which at UCLA now is difficult.
You could have a chance to win 10 games if you win this game this weekend. So that's where I just think it's a prove it. Like, are you ready for that? I think that is the reason. Like, there's no doubt USC has more pressure on them in terms of the two going on on the trip out east between Washington and USC. Like, the USC needs a big win. It's year 4 for Lincoln.
Yes.
He's got to show that he can do it on the road. He's got to show that he can do it back-to-back weeks. Notre Dame is good. By no stretch are they an unbeatable juggernaut. They have their best win in this stretch is against Arkansas, and they're being propped up because they have close losses to top 5 teams, which is fine. I don't mind them being ranked where they're ranked, but let's not sit here and act like Notre Dame is some unbeatable force that you're going on the road to play Ohio State or, whatever. So USC has more pressure. I think it's more about for Washington it's the thought of if they win this, man. What a prove-it moment for them to show that they can do it on the road because they've also had their road woes. Last time we saw this team on the thing in the third quarter to Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I just think that's another big hurdle for him to get over
You don't
early.
want to come out sluggish like that.
If they win this game, dude, they legitimately can win 10 games this year. Legitimately.
They'll have a shot, yeah.
Even if you just lose the Oregon game, all the other games on their schedule are winnable. And if they have a chance to go into the Oregon game 10-1 if they win this game this weekend.
But I could also see him going to UCLA and being an underdog.
Yeah.
Even if they win.
I don't know
this
about
game.
underdog, but yeah, I guess we'd have to see how UCLA goes the rest of the way.
I want to be fair on UCLA.
They look like a wagon right now.
Transformational with that firing.
They look like a wagon. A couple of games I'm excited, man. It's fun that they're it's very different times of the day. 9 a.m. for Washington playing on the road, and then USC getting the 4:30 game on NBC. And so a couple of big ones.
Do you think the West Coast teams? I guess I haven't looked up what their records are.
It's not been very good traveling
on the Big Nooner. We don't have a lot of examples.
I don't know about Big Nooner. I just know that the stat that's floating around is obviously when you have to travel more than X amount of miles, the teams since the start of this. Now, Indiana bucked that trend this last weekend. They came out to Autzen and won. Washington went on the road to Maryland and won. So you've seen some of these that are going the other direction of it, but that's the big stat that everybody's worried about is when you have that long travel, how does it impact your team? And everybody handles it differently. Washington and USC were just dreadful on the road last year. And we've seen Washington struggle a little bit on the road this year, not quite as bad. USC had their only loss on the road to Illinois, who's a good team, but, it's Illinois. And they weren't great on the road at Penn State. And so that's just the idea of taking that next step. You got to show that you can do it on the road. Excited for both of those this weekend. By the way, UCLA is at home against Maryland. You want to guess that spread? UCLA at home against Maryland.
UCLA minus 8.5.
8.5? Casey,
7.5.
7.5? 3.5. 3.5. One more I'm going to throw at you in our hot Big Ten talk right now. Penn State at Iowa.
Oh, God.
Guess that line.
Guess about watching that game.
You will not watch it because it's a Peacock game. So
Penn State minus 2.5.
Ooh, okay. Bucking the trend, fired coach trend in Vegas. That's where you're going.
Better quarterback.
I was going to go Iowa 3.5.
Iowa 3.5 on the head. It is Iowa minus 3.5.
Casey over here.
Well done.
How's he going to do in the next segment?
Yeah, do you got Gam? Do
you have picks?
I don't know if he does. We have not received Jason Swigard's picks. Nobody text him.
You are the one always trying to text him.
I need some help here. Nobody say a word.
He played by these rules when he missed
this
the Friday
is the rule.
show.
If you do not get your picks in time,
when he was sick, he was
knew.
like, "Here's the picks."
He was out last week and he had to get his picks, and he texted them to us or emailed them to us. We got no picks from Swag yet. Could be an 0-3 weekend. Who are we going to take?
We need him to go.
I need him to go 0-3, man. I can't win a damn game right now. That is all coming up next. But first, here is us with a update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, after his 249 passing yard performance on Thursday night, Aaron Rodgers has officially cracked into the top 5 of the NFL's all-time passing leaders list, passing Ben Roethlisberger with 64,222 total yards.
Wow, that's a great little stat. To the animal world, you remember Moodang?
Moodang? Yeah, I do remember Moodang.
Remember how viral Moodang went?
Moodang had a moment in time.
How about Mars, the new pygmy hippo? She's over at a wildlife reserve in Kansas. Look up Mars, and I ask you this. Is the baby pygmy hippo the cutest baby animal to exist in the history of the world?
Yes.
Because I just want to pick it up.
Oh, my God.
It's adorable.
That thing is... Yeah,
those are human-killing machines.
I want to snuggle that. I want to snuggle that thing. I want to. Are they slimy? Do they get slimy?
Yeah, they're definitely slimy.
Slimy, eating slimy.
But yeah, it's caught the attention of the world. The new Moodang is Mars, the pygmy hippo.
So damn cute. This was in my notes. We didn't do a segment on it today, but I thought it was worth mentioning nonetheless. Very cool thing. We've talked a lot about you wore your sweatshirt earlier this week. Coach Prime and what's happening at Colorado this year. He went viral yesterday for, I thought, a really cool reason. A lot of their guys who are depth players he allowed to basically have a scrimmage against each other for transfer portal film. And he was like, I know a lot of you guys already have your next destination in mind. You're probably already talking to other schools. Here's a chance for you to have a scrimmage. We'll put it on film. We'll cut it up for you. We'll give it to you, and we'll help you find a new home in the transfer portal.
He brought in cheerleaders and
the band.
Band.
He wanted it to feel like a game day environment. And he was like,
cool.
come on, let's see what we got.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
All right, for more sports scores, hippos, and primetime stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Go. Work 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Sprague the line. Sprague the line. Sprague the line. Sprague the line.
See what we got here today, folks. Sprague and Line brought to you by... Scrolling. Brought to you by KGW Investigative Journalism. We have a report that a local radio host unwittingly ruined the Mariners season, has been cursing the Beavs and the Blazers for years without realizing it. No wonder his picks never work. Now let's get to traffic. Sprague and Lyon brought to you by finding Sprague's house on Zillow. Still more likely than hitting on a Sprague pick.
Please don't.
People are looking for you, man. They're looking for you.
I have eggs on my house tomorrow morning. I'd be really upset.
It'd be really funny if America.
Whatever your house, it got TP'd.
Mariner
Said go
fans.
M's in the yard.
Sprague and Lyon brought to you by Scott Barnes picking the next head coach for Oregon State. The only pick that could be worse than a Sprague pick.
You know what? Amen to that. I'm bad at a lot. I can't be Barnes bad.
Sprague and Lyon brought to you by Mr. Sprague, because even a blind guy has a better chance of pointing out the right team without seeing anything that a Sprague pick has a chance of hitting. Sprague and Lyon brought to you by a guy who got a ticket on a team to win it all and then cursed him.
That's good value. I had over 5-1 on that ticket.
That's good value. Sprague and Lyon brought to you by Sprague's ability to pronounce last names, just as accurate as his gambling picks. Who's the catcher of the Red Sox again?
Navarez.
You went. That was almost the 21 Jump Street. My name's Yef.
My name Yef.
Sprague and Lyon brought to you by RFK. People are now asking him to declare Sprague's gambling advice a public health crisis.
Circumcisions.
We got problems with this. We gotta cut it out. Sprague and Lyon brought to you by the 5-finger discount. I'd rather take my chances with that than using a Sprague pick. Let's get one more in here. Sprague and Lyon brought to you by Jinxes. Sprague didn't jinx the M's by calling a sweep. He did it with his Mariner World Series ticket to begin with.
Okay, you're not wrong. Yeah. You started out like, thanks.
Kind of building you up to tear you down a little bit.
Had
there.
him in the first half.
Totally had him in the first half. All righty, here's how we are looking right now, gentlemen.
Yeah.
After last week, Swag won the weekend. Still no picks from him, so, we'll wait and see if he ends up getting those bad boys in. The season standings now, you went 1-2 last week. I went 1-2 last week. Swag went 2-1. Here's what we hit on and missed on. I hit on the Seahawks in Jacksonville. I finally jumped on the Colts bandwagon. Yeah, great timing on my part.
That's just bad luck.
And then took the Cowboys -3. That didn't work out. They lost outright. Sprague, you hit on the Raiders, covering against the Titans. That was a pretty easy cover. The Browns +5.5 over in London, starting now. Oh, no, that one wasn't in London.
No.
Or no, it was. Was it?
Nope.
No, it was not.
Nope, it was the other game I picked.
You took the Broncos -7.5 against Jets. Starting now, we're not going to gamble London games.
I leave all the Jags, though.
Until
the Jags are getting points.
Maybe there's a second one coming here. And then Swag hit on the Rams, 7.5 against the Ravens. The Pats -3.5 against the Saints, and he missed on the Lions on Sunday Night Football. So season standings, Sprague still in first place, 10-8. Swag is 8-10. I am 6-12.
Woof.
Woof.
What's wrong with you?
T-Box is yours, my friend. Pick away.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games this weekend. I love a lot of over-unders. It's just a tough one. I like the Seahawks. I'll be gambling the Seahawks. I'll say it. I'm sorry, Seattle. I think that's a great spot.
We had a Husky fan chime in who's also that's a weird mix. He's a Husky fan, Mariner fan, and a Steeler fan.
Here we go.
So that's kind of
interesting.
That's a combo, and he's basically preparing himself for this could be bad. Washington could lose tomorrow. The Mariners could lose again tonight,
weekend,
and then the Steelers already lost. Mariners, he's already bracing himself for a tough weekend.
There's a lot of coin flip games. Look at the spreads, Andrew. It's tough. It's tough out there, but it ain't hard out here for a pimp. I'm going to take the Commanders -1.5 at Dallas. I love this spot for them. I'll also say this because I think you're going to have this pick. The over of every Dallas game is just straight cash, homie. I'm going to let you have that one, assuming you're picking it.
Dude, it's going to be an L this weekend now, I guarantee it.
No, I'm going to gamble it again.
1 week I do it.
I don't think the Commanders' defense is perfect either, but no. I think the Commanders are the better team here. So I'm going to take the Commanders -1.5.
Yeah, you know my first pick. That's my first pick. I've been trying to ride the Cowboy bandwagon a little bit because I think they've been decently valued in Vegas, and then they bit me last week by losing outright to the Panthers, and so I am switching up. Now this is me jumping on the train late again, similar to the Colts last week.
This one's higher than it's ever been.
Hey, Jacoby Brissett starting. This is a lock. The Colts are rolling everybody, and they damn near lost the game at home, but I don't care. I got nothing to lose. Give me the Cowboys and Commanders over a 54.5. Pick number 1 for me. Casey, you want to throw one out?
I think I'm going to take the Patriots over the Titans in the points. I think Drake May has impressed me a lot.
Okay.
What is that one at?
I think
it's
at
7.5?
6.5, 7, somewhere in that range?
It's at 7 on our local DraftKings. So
Pats -7. All right.
That's an underrated Vrabel revenge game. Like, if he can open up a can, I think he absolutely will.
Vrabel does really good against rookie quarterbacks.
He also told the world today, or this week, he pulled the Jonathan Smith. You want to know where his Titans gear is? It's at a local Goodwill in Nashville.
Yeah, he took it to Goodwill.
I'm going to go to another small spread here, and I'm just going to pick a side that I think will be able to come out of that thing victoriously.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles have lost 2 in a row.
Ooh.
They're going to a tough environment in Minnesota.
Skull.
But we might have McCarthy. Eagles, minus 1.5. Just win the game. Please, fly Eagles.
1.5. You say the line is on that
it's
one?
1.5 as well, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, J.J. McCarthy playing. You got to love the
I don't
Eagles
love it.
side there.
I'm not going to fall in
Gotta
love
love that line.
Andrew, stop.
Love that line.
Stop it.
I'm going to stick an over-unders, and this is how desperate I am that now when I see a tweet about something regarding the weather, I get excited and go gamble the game. Have either of you two fine gentlemen seen the weather report for what is going to take place in Cleveland, Ohio?
I haven't seen our weather report, so no, I haven't seen Cleveland, Ohio's weather report.
The Dolphins or Browns are playing this weekend. I'm not sure if people are aware of this. The Dolphins and Browns are playing this weekend.
This should be somebody gets fired from the result of the game.
They should all get fired.
Like GMs and coaches. Could we have 4 of them fired?
Let's just root those teams out of their cities and move them somewhere else at this point. The game is being played in Cleveland. There is a chance that we're going to have 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts, and the National Weather Service is saying there is certainly a system worth monitoring that could bring strong storms. So there's a chance. 94% chance of rain, 36 mile an hour per hour gusts, and it's going to be 65 degrees. We got a weather doozy going on in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, we do.
What do I know about the Browns?
Struggling on offense.
They can't score on anybody, and their defense is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
What can Tua not do? Throw a ball in bad weather and especially heavy winds. So I will maintain my trend of over-unders. Give me the under of 37.5 between Browns and Dolphins.
You know, these are the games that they hit, and they hit comfortably, but
I'm not happy about it.
Until
It's
the
ugly.
third quarter, you that is such a low number that the minute it's 13-10, you're panicking.
Oh, it's the bet's done. First half of that game's 13-10. The bet's over. It's done. It's cooked. We're not winning.
My final one here. Look, I'm just gonna bet points. Rooting for points
is fun.
It's more fun than betting unders.
Yes, it is.
It's not even a conversation. I'm so excited for Monday Night Football. I'm actually excited for both of the games. But I'm super excited for the first one.
Yeah.
Tampa at Detroit. Points. Give me some points. We're taking the over of 52.5 with Baker Mayfield. Getting Mike Evans back.
Okay, not worried about Igbuka maybe missing the game?
Yeah, Igbuka is going to miss the game. Sounds like he's going to be out multiple weeks. I don't love that, but I still think Baker and the Bucs can get to about 24-27.
Okay.
And I think the Lions are going to be able to score on that Buck defense. I'm going to take the over of 52.5 between Tampa Bay and Detroit.
All right, last one for me. I'm going to go I need to start taking more dogs. I got a problem. I need more dogs in my life. Dogs are always nice. Let's take a dog. They got an extended break going into this game, and I would have been a little bit more worried about the high-on-your-own supply if there was a quicker turnaround, but they've had a nice breather here. I think they found something offensively with their rookies, which are helping tremendously. Do they win the game outright? I'd be surprised if that happens. But talk about another team who has struggled offensively. Denver has had unbelievable pass protection for Bo Nix this year, and they're struggling to score on essentially everybody, going all the way to London, coming all the way home. I'm getting 7. If it was 7.5, I'd love it 10 out of 10, but now it's down to 7 on DraftKings, so I'm a little bummed about that, but I'll take it nonetheless. Give me the Giants plus 7 on the road in Denver to cover against the Denver Broncos.
Fighting Ryan Cooley's covering the number against the Bronx,
Don't let me down, Giants. Do not let me down. KC, anything else you like today?
Setting up your Bo Nix karma to hit you pretty hard.
Pretty hard. It'll snap back and whack me in the face.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
For some reason, I really like the Falcons plus the points here. It's a 1.5 line, and the Niners are going to be without all of their stars.
Are you doing to me what I already did to you?
I think he's trying to do to you, yeah.
Except
the difference is
jinx.
you got to pick the Niners, though, if you wanted to jinx.
No.
Or maybe Casey's just spot on and hammers it when he gambles on hits, unlike you, which jinxes the team.
I think the line just changed to 2.5.
It literally just went to 2.5.
Oh, what do we know? Who's available? Who's playing? Somebody in, somebody out?
Was the other team better coached? Raheem Morris?
Christian
Kyle
McCaffrey
Shanahan.
still playing?
Pearsall coming back?
McCaffrey, I think did we bring up the stat earlier this week that I think he's the first running back in NFL history to have 6 straight games of 50-plus receiving yards in every game?
He's been pretty good this year.
He's been pretty good. I think he's like the first guy to have 50 rushing yards and 50 receiving yards in each of the games or something. He's doing a lot of
that game terrifies me, by the way. I have no feel on that game at all.
Why, yes, Carrie, I have been waiting all night for Sunday Night Football, and I'm very excited to watch Falcons and 49ers on Sunday night. There you go. There are your Sprague in the Line picks. Quick reminder, Sprager is on Commies -1.5 in Dallas.
Yep.
Eagles -1.5 in Minnesota.
Fly, birds, fly.
Skull. And the over at 52.5 Monday night Bucks and Lions. I hate waiting for a Monday night bet.
Yeah,
that always hurts, but I do like that bet. I'm on the over of Commies and Cowboys 54.5. The Giants +7 in Denver, and the under of 37.5 and Browns and Dolphins. There you go. Spring in Line every Friday at 9:30. Let's wrap it up. Got Game 5 tonight. Get you set. Final thoughts on the weekend next. 105.1 FM The Fan.
FM and 1080 AM.
There you go, fist pumping your way into the weekend every single Friday. What a day! People keep asking, is young Casey the new producer of the show? He's not. He's our new he's our new Willie Bloomquist, if you will. He's our new fill-in guy. Swag, who had his hippo rights and his COVID earlier in the week, now is in Palm Springs for the weekend.
Yeah, had his Palm Springs trip just line up right with having
Hey
hippo.
guys, I'll be gone this weekend.
Also be gone Monday.
He will be out. So Casey will be doing the show again on Monday.
Yep.
How do we? Let's take a quick look in the rearview mirror, if we will. How do we think we did today, Casey? How do we think we did?
Other than that one little mix-up with the John Gruden, I'm feeling great.
I think you did pretty good. I give I think we deserve a round of applause.
Out of 10.
Out of 10, what do we grade?
What did we say grade-wise?
I'm going to give him, let's see.
I'm going to go a 7-1. Now listen to
There's
me
a few demerits there, right? The hot board wasn't up right away for our hype horn at 6 o'clock this morning.
He didn't know how to load certain audio cuts to certain places.
We got Rebecca Black Friday twice.
Yeah.
And we had the John Gruden cut in the middle of a segment. Now, I'm not upset when John Gruden starts talking. I will cede the floor to John Gruden.
I'll tell you what, man.
Do you see John Gruden did a video yesterday? They do these Barstool videos where one of their guys walks around and asks a random trivia question or some sort of question, and they put them all together into one video. And this one was, what is your least favorite city in America?
Oh, what did he pick?
John Gruden comes about halfway through the video. A bunch of people tagged us in this. That's how I saw it. Pops up. I'll tell you what, man. Portland, Oregon.
His least favorite?
That's what he said, yeah. Is that political? I don't know. Probably. I thought, have you ever been to Portland? Has John Gruden been to Portland? Is it a news thing? Is it
Portland, Maine? Did he say Portland, Oregon?
Portland, Oregon. Portland, Oregon.
Must be on fire.
Yeah. We got boards for windows, man. War zone out here, okay?
I don't know how we navigate
Good
it
luck
all.
surviving all of it.
That kind of makes me happy.
So I think all those things considered, I'll give KC, you said 7 point, what are you giving him?
7-1.
7.1?
I thought outside of those things, good updates.
Good updates.
Contributed a good stat to the FUP-date.
He did, yeah.
Gave a couple picks in Sprague line, even though it's not necessarily his picks. It's supposed to be Swag's picks. Offered good feedback, gave his thoughts on dryer sheets. Yeah, 7-1.
Yeah. I'm going to go a little bit higher than you. Maybe this is how I would be as a teacher. I'm a little bit of an easier grader. I'm going to give him an 8.3. Understanding the circumstances and getting thrown into the fire and not quite sure how to handle things.
You better not fail come Monday.
I'm not giving you a 10 out of 10. I can't do that, but an 8.3, that's a solid B. It's not a B minus. It's a solid B job right there.
I'll take that.
Where would you grade yourself?
I would put myself right at 8, probably high 7s.
High 7s, low 8s. Okay.
So I'm lowballing you.
Yeah.
I jinxed you yesterday,
I'm
lowballing you.
Double whammy from Sprague.
I think we know who he's going to hate on this show.
Can't stand you, dude. You jinxed his football team, man. You gave him a C minus. C minus.
You wouldn't be the first Oregon State alum to hate me either, by the way. I'm pretty good at that.
There's a lot of them out there. Somebody asking, is Big Will Betts no more? No, Big Will Betts has also left. He is not here
He's
anymore.
in Dallas.
We
got
got
the Seahawks now in Dallas, Texas for sports rants or
Yes. We got a pretty short bench right now. We got, we're learning. We're like, you go on the road and your secondary's out banged up and you got to rely on some walk-on freshmen. You got to just survive in advance at that stage. That's where we're at right now in terms of producers because Schulte's doing primetime and he used to be our filling guy everywhere.
Yeah.
But now he's doing primetime every day. Rust already had to do double duty while we're training and making sure young Casey's ready to go.
Yep.
And so, hey, we're testing our depth today and Monday.
Well, we have another minor leaguer we're bringing up right now.
We do.
He just got to AAA.
He's in AAA. Give him a couple more starts, and then maybe we'll see when he's ready for the call to the big leagues.
Yeah.
Big night. Big night tonight in Seattle.
Is it?
Big night in Seattle.
Hadn't heard.
It is a big night in Seattle.
I could feel a jinx coming.
Hey, did I Sprague the line on him?
You did not, although I would have.
Dirt was like, you should Sprague the line on him.
I would have
trying to win.
Out loud if you would have Sprague the line on that game. If you had the balls after everything that's gone on in the last 48 hours to put something on that game for game 5 tonight.
Well, bet the over is where I would bet.
That's where you're leaning. Kevin Gossman versus Bryce Miller is your starting pitching matchup. Both started in game 1. Both for very good.
Very
in game
good in
one.
game 1. Yeah.
Mariners kind of pulled away late. That was a very good, well pitched game, I would argue. So that should be a decent matchup tonight. And the 2019 Nationals is all you can cling to if you lose tonight. And maybe this is one of those outlier series. It feels like it's all on the line tonight. Does it not? Go ahead, Sprague. Share your thoughts on the Mariners in the series.
Best of 3, dude.
Best of 3.
Win or lose, you play another game. You have an opportunity.
Your season will not come to an end tonight.
I'm not on the bump.
You were not
I'm not
pitching.
managing that team.
Are you sure? Are you
I'm
pitching
not pulling
tonight?
the bullpen.
Are you pitching tonight?
Am I starting? What was the kid? 76? Rivas? What was his name? He came up big for the Tiger game, and then he randomly just like, now he's starting?
No, he's starting. He's
Did
in the
I
lineup.
do that?
He's in the lineup every day.
I didn't. He got picked off at first, too. So
He did,
I didn't.
And Naylor got thrown out at third. That was your fault. You probably waved him to third on
Dude,
that
Scherzer
single.
was great last night.
Scherzer was psychotic. Kevin Gausman, Bryce Miller tonight. I'll just say good luck. Good luck, everybody. Hope your football teams win this weekend.
Yeah, good luck to everybody in football.
Certainly hope my football team wins this weekend.
Oh, man.
I got my own pucker going on that I'm worried about. Not even thinking about Seattle tonight. I'm thinking about the pucker in Piscataway tomorrow at 3:30.
We got James Franklin if you lose.
James Franklin live on game day tomorrow, by the way.
He is going to be doing a live hit
So
on
be
game
curious.
day.
Tomorrow, if you're out driving around, want to stop by, Grand Central Bowl will be out there. Young Casey will be there as well. You can see the new producer, or film producer at the
The
fam.
ladies
Yes,
can't
sir.
stop
The
raving
ladies'
about young
man,
Casey.
I got a girl.
Oh,
What?
oh. So he's got a
You
girl.
got a lady?
He's got a lady.
I do.
Congratulations.
Look at you,
Thank you, sir.
Casey.
Love is love.
Well done, dude. Anthony Newman and I will be there 11 to 1:30, so stop by, say what's up. We'll be hanging out. Looking forward to it. Enjoy all of the baseball, all of the football. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for being a part of our Friday. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. We will talk to you Monday at 6 a.m. The Firm of Harrison Meringue is next. Listening to 105.1 FM, The Fan.
I'm Ryan Horvath, here to help you beat the books.